Um, okay, peace. My bad, y'all. I was having a little technical difficulties, man. I just jumped out the shower, I was a little late. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's not Ashley's fault, it's my fault. Um, so yeah, so earlier today I was, doing my regular scrolling through IG. And then Ashley here, my co-host, she has a little rants from time to time, right? So today she was talking about something that I really kind of like wanted to make a video about previously, which is what I didn't really even have a name for it. So it was very interesting when I seen in her story that it said the whole to modest girl pipeline. So I was just like, yo, that's crazy. It's funny because like usually when I hear like stuff that sound like that, it's usually like the school to prison pipeline. So it was kind of like it was almost as of like a activism hashtag kind of thing to it, right? So I was like, yo, I like that. I said prison, whole to modest girl pipeline, like. And yeah, I was just thinking like, yeah, we need to go live. We need to like kind of like talk about that. We need to have a conversation about that. Because I was gonna make a video, and it's something that kind of like we're gonna get into. We're gonna unpack. But a lot of people might not know who you are, so you could let them know.
Hi, I'm your favorite girl, Ashley. Or soon to be your favorite. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to describe myself as, but yeah, that's
Ashley's
who I
also
am.
one of like my moderators. On like when
I
I go
am,
live.
yes, yes. I am one of the
Yeah,
moderators when I finally catch a live,
yeah, she's
because
also one of my
I
moderators.
be lacking.
Um, So yeah. So how did you even come up with that? Like what made you like? I don't know if you did it or your friends. I don't know. I don't like how did you how did that even come about?
Okay, so I wanted to like, can I cuss on your platform?
Hmm.
I wanted to just talk my shit. So basically, I posed a question on my Instagram, and it was really just like, "Oh, give me some hot topics," kind of like on some Wendy Williams. It was actually one of my followers who said, "Oh, talk about the whole to modest pipeline," and then I think they gave two examples, and I was like, "Okay, yes, let's talk about it." And that was one of the topics. They kind of came hard. They had another topic that I don't know if you would want to get into because I feel like we'd be here all day.
The
But
FBA
yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
many of my followers, they pretty smart, so
Yeah.
they be coming up with stuff. It's not all me.
Yeah. Cool. So what is like your take on like this pipeline thing coming about? Like how do you feel about it?
So I think, the base of what I said was just it's about money. I think that in this particular case, the money has run dry for the girls that have been embarking on that journey. And so they're like, okay, well, if this isn't working, why not switch it up and see if this is going to give us money? And that's more so my outlook on it.
So when you say the money is drying up, are you saying like they were portraying like to be hoes, as in like it was making them money, and how?
Yeah, so for some women, they was getting down with the get down and was getting paid. But I think that men have gotten smarter or they've gotten at least stingier with their money, due to circumstances that we all are going through right now. But I think there are a lot more vocal men right now out in the social media space that are like, you know what, you got to bring more to the table. Like, I don't want to just have your cat and then that's it. And then I got to spend X, Y, Z. Like, what am I getting out of the deal? So now they are reversing that and trying to get women on their side. Like, oh, you should go to the gym 3 times a week. Like, all the stuff that was told to them that they didn't want to do. Now they're doing it. And, oh, you should be more feminine. You shouldn't be like this. You shouldn't be like that. And it's like, girl, Wasn't you just butt ass naked yesterday?
So,
So I know.
so do you really think it's so? I'm trying to understand. Like, all right, so I'm getting your perspective about like they was portraying this whole stuff, or basically gold diggers getting money out of dudes, right?
Yeah, but they
Um,
weren't good at it. It's the girls that aren't good at it.
okay. So now, like, what you think the gimmick is to get money though, to do this whole modest stuff, like in hopes that they get married?
No, I think it's like more so, and I had put in Christianity into it. I think it's kind of like how we see pastors making money off of just preaching the word that you could just read yourself. So it's like what men were saying that they wanted, they're just repackaging it, and then they're having classes, how to
Uh,
conduct yourself. Like they're making it
on some
into
Derek Jackson
something.
shit.
Yes, giving advice, and they don't have a man. They ain't been going on no dates.
All
Like they're
right.
telling
I, I
us what to do.
I see what you're saying. So they basically on some like, yo, I used to live this life. Follow
Yeah,
me. I could redeem y'all. Buy my book. Buy my
right.
course,
Buy my
and,
course.
and you could follow my road to redemption. Gotcha. So what is your like? What is your thoughts? Do you think that a woman who was a streetwalker, aka hoe, do you all right? Do you think as a real thing though? Like, do you think like there's gonna be these droves of women who was walking and who was streetwalkers, who was doing whatever, like getting around, having whole phases? Do you really think that there is an actual pipeline though, that like these women could be redeemed and they're gonna start getting married and moving on with their life like as if their past didn't exist?
I think that's their goal. I think what they thought they wanted changed. Um, do I think it's gonna work? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because like, see, to me, it's kind of like, see, like, and I used to like, this is like things that I grapple with, right? Because I'm trying to like, everybody has a past. Everybody done some
Right.
shit like that we not proud of. Make sure y'all like the video, circulate the people who are tuning in, right? But it's
Yes,
like,
and I wanted to add to liking the video. Okay, so liking the video is like coming into somebody's house and not saying hi. Okay, when you come in, you gonna like the video. That's how you
exactly.
say hi.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's kind of like you
So
offer somebody something to drink when they come in your house. You be like, you need something to drink.
yeah, you want, but I can't
Hospitality.
greet you unless you greet me because you in my house.
Yeah, what I'm saying. I got you. I like that. I like that.
Who is
I might steal
you?
that. I might steal that.
You come
Um,
through, like the video offer. That's the first thing.
yeah,
You
definitely.
say
But
hello.
I give them grace because sometimes people might not like, well, might not. So I
No,
rock
no,
with them.
no, no, no. We're not giving grace on that. It takes nothing. You be scrolling, you be doing this. When you click the video, like the video, and that's how we know you said hello.
You're right. You're right. We ain't giving grace. Y'all heard her. So look. So this is something that I'll be kind of like struggling with, right? It's almost like with people who rape people, right? People who take advantage of people. It's like I be having that struggle of like, I know 9 times out of 10 somebody who does that kind of act to people, it's because it probably was done to them. They probably was victims themselves, right? So I know there's some type of connection, right? But it's hard for me to kind of like empathize, right? When you done did some foul stuff to women or children, right? But I, even though in the back of my mind I know like you probably was harmed in a similar way, right? Like, and you're repeating this kind of cycle. It's hard for me to kind of like look past and empathize with the shit you just did. You get what I'm saying? So it's almost like the same thing, right? Um, it's almost like the same thing because it's like, I get it. We all done shit that we're trying to move past from. We're trying to change. We're trying, but then it's like at the same time, I'm just kind of like, if I was to say that, and then somebody asks me, well, would you date one knowingly, right? It's almost uh, like I just can't, I just can't move past. Cause I used to say this when I came home, right? I used to be like, you know what? Why should we care, right? Like we grow up with this, like this is kind of like some hood shit. Because listen, the white boys, Brad, you know what I'm saying? Susie be in college getting crazy. and she still get married, right? The only thing that the only thing that might make a Brad not marry her is like if she was getting crazy with black guys, right? That might be like the only thing that Brad might be like, man, I ain't messing with you if he know about it, right? But other than that, it's like, yo, Susie be getting crazy, and it's like they still get married, right? So is this like a cultural thing where it's like chicks get around and then it's like they get to a certain age and dudes be looking at them all crazy? Because I feel like in other cultures, I'm not saying that the damn men don't do it, but it's like I feel like in other cultures, in a white culture, like they don't be giving a damn. It seems that way. I don't know because I'm not really white, but it just seems like these girls go through college, they have their little face, they be like, oh, she was just young, she was wild, and then she still goes on to get married and have the children. So I don't know if it's a cultural thing. What do you think?
I don't know if it's a cultural thing because I kind of just feel like it's the need for control. Like, yeah, I didn't know you in your past, but this is too extreme for me. Like, okay, a lot of men hold sex to a higher standard, right? So it's like, this means a lot to me. So for you to be out here doing what you was doing before me, I can't handle that. And I know about it. Like you're being upfront about it. I can't take that in. So I don't know if other cultures care about body count or care about what you're doing in that regard. I don't know. It's kind of hard to decipher.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be struggling with this, right? Because somebody said hoes can be redeemed because
I
simps
saw
will
that.
sponsor them, right? And see, I struggle with this because it's like when I first came home, I was like I just think about it in an Islamic context, right? Like I became Muslim, so I'm trying to live my life differently. I'm trying to do different things. I'm trying to like, I don't want like I think about an
Right.
employer, right? Like, you come home, let's just say every employer was like, nope, you're a convict. I'm not giving you a chance. And then like we would tend to be like, oh, that's fucked up, that's foul, like that's my past, like I'm not that person anymore, I was young, I'm changing my life. And it's like we will want that, right? We will want people to like not just judge us for our past, but what we doing today and how we have changed. But it seems like when it comes to the women that get around, right, or the promiscuous women, it's like dudes be like, nah, I ain't trying to hit it. Like, so it's kind of like, so I had that mindset, like, you should be a woman should be able, like if she was young, like why should that shit be held against her, right? One thing I say though is that I think it's kind of hard to stop certain habits. Right now, going to prison, and I think this is the differentiation with prison, right? Because it's like, yeah, you did something wrong, you landed in prison. A lot of times, you might not want to go back there, right? There's a like a repercussion, like you could be taken away from your family, locked away. Like it's a deeper, steeper repercussion than like you just getting around. Even though there's a repercussion, like if guys know, guys might be like, nah, I ain't fucking with you, but that ain't stopping. You get what I'm saying? That's not stopping girls from like, a lot of women is still like, oh well, it's my body. They just want to control me. They just want to. But I think that is something that you gotta live with, right? You gotta live with whatever comes with it. But I be grappling with it because I feel like in some cases it's kind of foul to like hold it against them because sometimes you're young, you dumb, like peer pressure, like shit happens, and a lot of times guys make hoes, like guys literally, like come on. And I say this all the time. How many guys sat there and made a girl, which is kind of rapey, right? You made a girl sleep with your man's and other dudes, like, oh, do it for me, or if you really love me, you'll do this. Like, how many guys really like coerce, gave liquor or whatever other drugs, and like then this girl started sleeping around, and then now when you get older, you're like, I don't want you, but it's like you contributed, like you kind of like the dynamic is kind of messed up. I think it's like, so I'll be kind of like struggling.
That's why I said it's like a control factor. And then like also too, like you don't know how people are being brought up, especially like women, black women in particular. You don't know like how their household is being ran. So if I don't have love and this is like the closest thing to it, then I'm gonna keep doing it. And then once I get a little bit more sense, I'm out in the world and I'm learning, maybe that's not what I want to do. Like, should I be reprimanded for that? Like, okay, I'm about to, now I'm grown. Now I'm changing my behavior or trying to, but now people are still talking to me about stuff that I did when I was 16, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I think so. So my thing is that I definitely understand, and that's just like I think people deserve opportunity and chances. And at the same time, I think people got to live with the choices that they made, right? Like, and I think that like in a sense, it's like because right in a sense, it's like some women are being told, right? Like they're being told, like I keep saying, like they're being told this is when you get to a certain like this is what's gonna happen. You do this, it equals this, right? And it's like some of them is just like I just don't care, right? I also think there's this thing about this newfound power that women have gotten, right? That they didn't really have before to be able to like do whatever it is that they want to do with themselves and their bodies and say whatever they want to say or do whatever they want to do, even though people still gonna judge them, right? But in their mind, it's almost like I never had this power before. So even from that angle, I look at it like a person that never had power before doesn't know what to do with it when they first get it. They don't know how to kind of act. They don't know how to respond, how to even harness that power. But in reality, to me, I look at it like there's more power in the femininity and abstaining or knowing how to pull the strings, right? Like men will do anything for a woman, right? Just to try to get it. But a lot of women don't even understand their power. They don't even really understand they feminine, divine, essence that even come with that. Because they think the power comes from like sleeping around and getting a bag or chasing after the rapper or the person who got the most likes or so the concept of their power, they don't even really understand their power. Um, so yeah, I think that instead of some people saying like, "Oh, that's messed up," yeah, like I said, I'm struggling because I look at it like you got to live with the consequences. Like if people been telling you, "Yo, this is gonna harm you in the long run, in the end," right? And then you get to, and then you start to see it. Don't be like, oh, but that's foul. Why you judging me for that? Like when people told you, you get what I'm saying? I understand a young lady who didn't know, and she was just like, she probably was assaulted. She just grew up in a crazy environment. She didn't really know better. But there's women who blatantly are on some like, I don't care. This my body, blah blah blah. And then it's like later on they're complaining, and it's like, nah, somebody told you though. So I think there's different levels to it. It's kind of like the baby mama thing. There's some women who they wasn't on some like careless, like it was like a really like an accident, and maybe they didn't even know, and then by the time they knew, they kind of like, there's some women who learned their lesson, right? Like they got jammed up or do maybe lie to them, said he was gonna be there, and then he skedaddle. And then there's a woman who like you had one mistake, two mistake, three mistake, and then you got like five kids, like different baby daddies, and it's like, can I really make the same excuse for you, for other women that genuinely she messed like? So I look at it like that too. It's circumstantial.
Yeah, and that's something that I said on my Instagram too. Like, whatever route you take, you're gonna have to take accountability for yourself and be like, okay, whatever comes with it, comes with it. And that is why I know, like, Amber Rose is not everyone's favorite, but that is why I was like, I can respect somebody like Amber Rose because despite what's going on, okay, despite of calamity, she still said what she said,
What you
and
mean?
she mean
What
what she
calamity?
say.
What calamity?
Well, that's what she claimed. That's what she claims she going through. But she's still saying what she's saying. Like, you don't have no control over my body. I'ma do this. I don't care. Like the woman you just described. I don't care how you feel. I'm on to the next man. If I have a baby, I'm gonna tattoo his name on my forehead. Like, it's up. It's up. I really don't care. To me, I'd rather you be like that and be like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this decision through and through. I knew what I was getting myself into, and I'm gonna be 50 saying the same thing.
So
Granted, I do believe people can obtain new information and change what they think. But in this particular case, for the hose to modest pipeline or whatever you want to do after you did your little whole trail, your whole journey, I do believe that the switch up is a little insane. You have to admit. You have to admit it's a little extreme. You going from one extreme to the next extreme. Like why you can't just be in the middle? Why your body count just can't be in a happy medium?
so by calamity, is she saying that she's struggling to date right now?
Not entirely. She's saying like this is how I interpret it. She's saying like the girls who are trying um to be like her or to be like Superhead to be in this realm, they're leaving it.
Hmm.
So in her mind, it's like she don't really have that support that she once had.
Oh, like she don't got the whole battalion.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what she meant by calamity.
That's how I interpreted it because the guy had asked her the same thing. I don't know where I'm gonna have to find this video. He kind of asked her like, "Oh, are you having trouble dating right now?" She's like, "I'm not complaining about like my dating life. Like I know what I got myself into. It's just
Hmm.
I don't like the fact that other girls try to get in with me, but then now they leaving and they talking about this ain't working. Da da da. And it's like, if it ain't working for them, it ain't working for them. You can't make nobody just you know what I mean? It's weird. Like it's just weird.
Yeah, it
She a
sounds like,
pimp at this point.
yeah, and it sounds like her dating life probably is struggling too, right? Because she's saying, "I know what I got myself into." So it's almost like it is what it is, right?
But
But it,
yeah, and it's kind of like she's seen this coming.
yeah, but it feels better. But it's also like she's saying, also it feels better when you got the supporting cast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Or,
you,
misery loves company.
yeah,
I'm in
so you're not
misery,
on your
so
own. You're kind of like you got your whole friends, right? It's like birds of a feather. It's like fuck it, we gonna be like it's just like the lonely girls, right? It's just like the girls who say we don't need a man, we don't got to do this, and what do they do? Every week they're going to brunch together. They going on vacations together. They cry together. They buy puppies together. Like they do everything together, right? So it's like they feel okay because they put each other on to new vibrators and sex toys and they go to brunch together. So it's like you still have a community, right? You got the community. It's like girlfriends,
right,
right?
you still have people that's gone. I do believe that you can have love in different ways. It doesn't necessarily match up to romantic love, but you can experience love in different ways. And I think now women are trying to like decenter men or at least try to unlearn what we've been taught so that we can be happier and not feel like, oh, I don't have anybody. I think it's more positive than what people think.
That's why they get pets.
Yeah, you have a companion that's gonna love you forever because he don't know nobody else.
Yeah, you keep them locked in the house. Yeah, I bet you let that dog roam. You let that cat get
or
out the house.
smell somebody else. That dog
Yo,
gone.
but, yeah, so yeah, so this is something that I struggle with. She said, I mean, pimps are the control freaks. I don't know, man. Girls be pimping themselves nowadays, so they don't even need a pimp. I don't even know the pimp game. I don't even know where the pimp game is at. I'm not in the street. I never really knew no pimps like that. I knew like one dude that said he was pimping, but this levels to pimping. I don't even want to get into the whole this gorilla pimping and there's like gorilla pimping is like the gang bangers trying to pimp. Like it's a whole science to that shit. I was on Clubhouse and some dude was breaking down like he said they wasn't really pimping. That's gorilla pimping and gorilla pimping is dudes that's trying to be pimps, but they street dudes that gang banging and they want to get into the pimp game. And then he said, then you got the pimps that don't they the real pimps. They don't gang bang. They're
He know
not in
too
the
much.
street. Like yeah, it was like a whole science. And I was just like, I really don't care. I really don't want to know. Um, but what I was gonna say, so Yeah, so I get what you where you're coming from, and I think that like when I be thinking about it, like I would respect the woman. Honestly, I respect the woman who like she come up straight up front. Like if a woman tells me like from the gate, like it's like an informed consent, right? I don't, it's not informed consent. It is a form of informed consent, but then it's like I forgot the language of the other one, right? It's like a shared decision making kind of thing, right? Like it's like because you're making me aware, like yo, like this is what it is, right? So I could make a decision if I want to really partake in what is going to come with that. Because you know what is going to come with that. Like, you might go places, you might see
Yeah.
places, you might see people. You don't want people like you.
Everybody know. But and those, I'm glad you highlighted that because those are the particular women that get married. Like that's why when women are like, hoes get married, no, that particular hoe got married because you know what? She was upfront with everybody. She was upfront out the gate. This is my past. You gonna find out. I want to let you know before you find out.
Yeah. Or they either lie about it. Because I was one of my homegirls, she was like, she said the same thing. She said, matter of fact, her name Ashley too, by the way. So she was like, hoes get married. I said, did they know
Or
they was
that.
hoes? I said, did they know they was hoes though? And she was like, yeah, I don't know about that. I said, exactly. If a guy don't know you a
And I
hoe,
think that's, you know what? And I think that's why when we were saying earlier, like I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I don't think the white men know about Cynthia's past like that.
Cynthia like a Spanish girl. So, nah, but
Susie,
I get what you said. Yeah, Brittany. No, Brittany is like Brittany been hijacked by black people.
Brittany
That
is white, but
yeah,
yeah,
but it's been hijacked. It's mad black Brittany's.
I don't know if Black Brittany. I
Yeah, I
lied.
know.
I know
Yeah, I know.
one.
Brittany is like Ashley, right? Like Ashley is like,
Ashley
yo,
is a white girl name. I don't know what happened.
yeah, but it's mad black Ashley's now. It's mad black Brittany's. It's mad like, and then Cynthia is like a Spanish Jessica, like a Spanish
Spanish lady named Cynthia.
Margaret. Yeah, she Margaret. Margaret and them.
Margaret is 80 years old.
Nah,
Okay,
but
Valerie.
Valerie, yeah, yeah. Valerie sounds like the naive college girl. She
I
act
don't
like she,
think Chad knows about what Valerie has done. It don't matter. It don't
yeah,
matter.
it,
See,
yeah,
black men are so detail oriented because it's like, okay, when it's time to get down with the get down, like, girl, where you learn how to do a split on the dick at? Like y'all two like into the nah, just enjoy yourself.
yeah, and I was talking to one of my homegirls,
That's
right?
the
And
problem.
we was talking about this, right? Because she was like, she told me like, yo, but like, like it's not fair. I get it. Shit, not fair. It's not fair that we gotta pay to get into the club. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair that they be like ladies free and guys got to pay $50. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got they men got their benefits, women got their benefits. You know what I'm saying? That's just life, right? Double standards work that way, right? Like certain shit is just a perk for women. It's not a perk for guys, and guys get certain perk, whatever. So, but she was saying that like I didn't enjoy sex till like the fifth time around. And I was like, so you have to keep doing having sex with different guys? I said, like, what happened to communicate? What happened to just like getting to really know what y'all like sexually, right? And then it's like, nobody thinks about that. People just think like, oh, his sex game trash. On to the next, on to the next, on to the next, and then it's like, ooh, this one banging right here. And then it's like it don't really work out in a relationship sense, right? So y'all stop talking. You start seeing new people, and then you periodically come back to that guy who smoked your boots. And then it's like, where does that leave you? You know you can't be with this person. You don't like their other ways, but it's like you just like the sex. But imagine if you took the same time with the person that you like, is everything else is great, but the sex might not be that good. Imagine if you took the time, and I say this all the time to people. I wish I was a virgin, right? I said, do you know how beautiful it is for you to just be with that one person and y'all just learn each other and y'all just grow together, right? And like, and that's how it's supposed to be. You can't compare it to nobody. Like, you don't have no other comparison, men and women. You don't have no other comparison because sexual discipline works both ways. You don't have no other comparison to compare it to, right? It's communication. You get to learn each other, and y'all get to please and satisfy each other. But we have this mindset, and I would say a lot of times our sisters have this mindset like, I ain't teaching them nigga nothing. And then it's
You're
just
right.
like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, every woman is different. One woman might like this, another. You gotta be able to communicate. That's why I say a lot of women contribute to their bad sexual experiences,
Yeah.
because it's like
A
they won't
hundred
say
and ten
nothing.
percent.
They won't say nothing, and they will gas you up or lie and be like, oh yeah, or fake moan. And then it's just like they'll go tell their homegirl, like, man, he was trash. Or then like shit ends in the wrong way. And then it's like, now you want to tell Instagram and everybody how it was trash. You never orgasm, you never this, you never that. But it's like, you never said nothing. Right. Because I always ask women, like, well, did you tell the person? Like, did you communicate? And then they'll be like, no, like, I just didn't know how to, or I didn't want to hurt his feelings. Like, and then it's just like, so how did you expect things to get better? So yeah,
I always
it's
think that's funny because like men are the most vocal in that regard. Like it's if it's not hitting, I gotta go. Right? So we be so worried about not hurting other people's feelings, but it's like our feelings be getting hurt. So why don't you just communicate? But
I
I
don't
will
think.
say this, I think men are more willing to I think the reason why they communicate like what they like and what they don't like is because they're more willing to teach
Yeah,
versus like what we were saying, black women are like, I ain't doing it.
but I don't think guys be telling girls either though, because I feel like
I think they do.
I feel like
I think they do.
I feel like when a girl coochies thing, guys don't be telling them. Like,
Oh no, no, not like that. Okay, yeah, no, not like that. I'm talking about like come down to like
yeah,
oral
like on some
sex and all
teaching,
that, like
on some teaching,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
on some
Yeah.
teaching, yeah. But I feel like,
But if it's like body odor, I think men are like a little like
yeah, like even if it's trash, like I know this women be
yeah.
like, even if it's trash, like a dude might not tell you, like he might not be
He
like,
might not
yo,
tell you, but he'll tell you in his actions, like, oh, so what you about to do? Your clothes all the way over there, nigga ain't help you put nothing on. like,
but I
like
think
they
that
tell you in a certain kind of way. You just gotta read the room, pay attention.
I think that's just guys, period. Though I think guys are like, even in the animal kingdom, I think like guys have sex, and then like the woman want to cuddle most of the time, or she want to like lay around, and then the guy be ready to go, like he be just like, yo, like the fellas is waiting for me at the bar or some shit. And she be
Right.
like, what you mean? Like, like, it's like, I don't know. I just think it's like that. Like, I remember in the past, like I would be like that. I would just do something and I'll be like, yo, I'm ready to go outside. Like I'm ready to go. And then like the girl is like, what you mean? Like they trying to chill. Like it's hard for you to get them out your house. Like they just wanna like, they see you getting dressed and they just laying in the bed still. Like, and this is like,
And that's what I mean. Like women don't be. I mean, they should know it now. If you 25 plus, you should know it now. But like in the past, like you don't be reading the room. Like your clothes still over there. He putting on his clothes. He putting on cologne. Like he finna go outside tonight. And you over here, girl.
yeah,
It's time to get out.
yeah,
It's time to get
yeah, it
going.
is. And like Khadijah said, life was never meant to be fair. And I think like people
Yeah,
struggle
life
with
ain't
that.
fair.
People struggle with that, and it's like even men, right? Like I think some men, um, they have like some of the guys that can't handle rejection, right? Some of the guys that we see how they just feel like they're entitled, right? They use money. They feel like, well, I got a lot of money, I worked hard to get it, and so I should be entitled to you. Another thing that they do is like they'll buy you a drink and they feel like now you just gotta dance with them the whole night. Or now they deserve your number, and it all goes back to the it's not fair kind of thing, right? But it's like you put yourself in that. You didn't have to get her a drink. You know, but then it's this whole gentleman thing that they're kind of trying to buy into. Um, look at you flirting on the chat, man. Look at you flirting on the chat.
Yeah. I mean, okay, yeah, to speak to like what you were saying too, like I had an instance like that this past weekend, and I'm like, I don't owe you no explanation. Like I don't owe you to let you know we're on friend. Like what, like I don't owe you
Damn,
that.
you can't tell me where you from. Damn,
No, and they reacted the same way, but it's like I don't even feel like talking.
damn,
I
that
was
is
trying to be
crazy.
nice, like, hey, how you doing? It wasn't supposed to get farther than that. And this dude straight up was like, you can't even tell me where you from. I think that's weird. I said, okay. All he could do was laugh. He was just like, yeah, like,
I mean,
okay.
I get it, but
But it wasn't
damn,
like, it's like what you always preach on your channel, like, oh, you gotta look out for the choosing signals. I wasn't giving no choosing signal.
I get it. You're right.
So
You
it's
absolutely
like, you really bothering me.
right. You're right. I tell dudes that all the time, bro. I say, yo, you save yourself the embarrassment, or you save yourself the like just going through certain unnecessary stuff. Because at the end of the day, you gonna feel some type of way, right? You don't know what the response of this woman is gonna be. And some women are nasty. Some women are like, fuck out of my face, especially in New York, right? Or did I ask you? You might tell a girl, hey, you look cute. Did I ask you? Like you be like, damn.
Not
But
no, did I ask you? They become a hard. I love that.
I feel like some guys like that shit. Some guys like that toxic shit.
Some
Black people just
like
like
it.
toxic love, man. And
Yes, in general, it's a big majority. A
like
big
and
majority of
I say it goes
black
both
people.
ways. Like women like these toxic guys, and men
Yep.
like these toxic women, and it's just like crazy because guys say we want the nice girl, we want the sweet chick, we want
No, they
the
don't.
modest girl.
No,
And
they
then
don't.
women say the same thing, right? They say, "Oh, I want the nice guy, the safe guy, the guy that's gonna come home and do this and do that." But then they be chasing the dirt bags, right? And then men be doing the same thing. They be chasing the hoes. They
Right.
saying we just smashing them, but it's like, bro, you're giving them attention. You're liking their
Mm-hmm.
pictures. You're in their comment section.
You want them.
Yeah, some of these chicks is getting flown out, and I think the only problem is you don't want to attach their name to your you don't want to give them your last name. You want the safe girl that's going to raise your kids right. But you out having fun. You at the strip club, you at the clubs. Your wife is at home, and you out having fun and meeting these chicks. You giving them a lot of your time. So it's like, come on, bro. You really want the hoe, just like the chicks really want the dirt bags, the pookie.
Right. Right. And that's why I'm like, y'all just be saying stuff.
Yeah,
You
but,
don't want that.
because on
And then
paper,
it's not fair to the person that is trying to be on the straight and narrow. So, because it's like on the other spectrum of the whole phase, now we're going down to modesty. It's like, why be modest if I'm not going to be rewarded for it at all? Like, what am I getting out of it? Save myself for what?
do you ever feel like that sometimes?
I think when I was younger, definitely, I was just like, what is the point? It didn't bring me to the point where I was just going to go on a whole new journey. Yeah, I didn't think it was that serious. But it does like make you think like, okay, so what's the point?
Hmm.
You
Did
say
you
you
ever think
want this.
so when you had those moments of what's the point? Did you ever like did you ever feel like you know what? I'm man, they lucky I got a dad. Did you did you ever have like those
Oh
moments?
my god.
Did-
Not like to the extreme, like not that's gonna make me be like, fuck it. And like just go crazy. Nah, but sometimes it just make me be like, so what's the point of all that?
You'd be like,
What's the point?
I wish I wasn't raised like this. Like,
No, sometimes I joke, I'm like, bro, I wish I didn't have moral standards. Like I wish I didn't, you know what I mean? I wish I didn't care, but
yeah,
I'm just not built like that.
yeah, and I be trying to say that to the brothers, man. I be like, yo, we gotta be a little more about what we say, And that's just me too, right? Like I don't get on here and try to act like I'm some goody two shoe. I definitely don't be chasing hoes, right? I definitely don't. I don't like certain pictures. Like I make it my business not to give any type of validation. But I would say this. I do participate in some type of entertaining, right? I don't give validation. I don't like, if you don't follow me, I'm not following you. Like I'll be looking at some of these girls' pages and it's like, bruh, Shorty got 5,000 followers and she following like 500 people, right? And it's just like, yo, like, and it'd be a lot of dudes. It'd be a lot of dudes ass kissing, talking to themselves in the DMs, and I'd be like, brothers, we gotta be like, I promise you, I am not going to be talking to myself. And no, you got to have some type of self-respect, and you got to be about
Right.
it. Because my whole thing is like this. There's some guys who say, yo, I love the hoes, and they'll be with them. They would, I don't care, whatever, right? And it's like, you got to be real though. And I think, like I said, like the same way those sisters, and they'd be like, you know what, it is what it is. Like this is what it is. Like if she's not arrogant with it, if she's on something like, yo, I was young, I was stupid, I was misguided. Yeah, you deserve a different chance, right? Because this is kind of like what society does to the ex-felon. Right, because this is why I equate it. I equate it with a felony, right? When you got that resume, that jacket, you've been around them streets, you got a resume, you got a felony, and people want to see remorse. People want to see, what have you been doing, right? You don't gotta shame the women who come from that, but people want to see like what changed, right? Because oftentimes, and this is one of like my biggest problems that I have with some of those women, it's that, not with them per se, but being with one of them, it's that a lot of times people are creatures of habit, and we continue to engage in the same kind of behaviors. So it's kind of like, if that shit is ingrained, and I think hoeing is hereditary in some cases, right? I think if you got a long line of your mama, your grandma, like it's because it's in your DNA, right? And some people is in their DNA, right? Messages, it gets passed down through the generations, right? It's just like when people get raped and people get assaulted, and people got this trauma, it gets passed down. So in some cases, I believe that some of these girls got that shit in their blood, man. It just, and I think most people have some dark, twisted fantasy, the dark side, right? That they kind of like conceal, because when we get raised, we have to put our darkness to the side, because we can't just walk around saying whatever we feel. That's why a lot of people lie. A lot of people don't tell you how they really feel,
Yeah.
because we
Right.
wouldn't have no friends, right? We wouldn't really have no friends. We would get in trouble. Like, we just can't do whatever we want. And I think that be the issue with some of our sisters, right? And I think when the fake liberation came, the people, they just took off the mask they was wearing, and they was like, this is what I always wanted to do, but I couldn't, because we was being policed.
Right.
But
And
the police,
controlled.
I think, is also part of the protection. I don't think that men harm, right? And I might sound a little biased because I'm a man, but I look at the big picture, right? Like, it's a protection for women, because what has this so-called liberation really brought our women, like on some real shit, right? Like
What liberation?
the sexual liberation.
Oh, sexual liberation. But see, I also am kind of like, modesty ain't all that great either.
What you mean by that?
like
What you
like
mean?
okay, so this boils down to like, okay, sex ed, right? And like they basically show you pictures of blue waffle, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, and then they're like, if you don't want that, be abstinent. And it's like, you're not really explaining, like, to me why my body is changing. Like, I don't even know what ovulation is. I don't know, like, why I'm going through the changes. You know what I mean? Like, they just like, just don't do it.
Yeah, yeah. I think
And
you
then
gotta
once you
explain
get
things.
to a certain age, and I'm just saying this as a woman, like, and then once you get to a certain age and you don't have no kids, then it's like, oh, when you gonna have kids? Like, you really fucking me up in the process because you saying no, don't do nothing. And then I'm either gonna wild out because y'all kept telling me no all this time, or I'm gonna really listen and I'm gonna be a 30-year-old virgin. And then I don't get no play because don't nobody want no virgin. Like, times are changing.
What, bro?
Hey, I'm just letting you know. I'm not saying they can't never have nobody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you the circumstance. Like,
Now I'm saying dudes be wanting the virgins, but I agree with. Like, listen,
you get what I'm
dudes.
trying to say? Like,
Yeah,
modesty and abstinence. There's issues in both.
yeah,
Issues in both.
yeah. But I think dudes, like even from growing up, dudes always wanted to be the first dude to crack some. They always wanted to be. They always had this thing like the woman always remembers her first. Like there's always like this crazy bond with the first, and you
Yeah,
know,
which I think is
like
so dumb.
the first be like the baby daddy, right? Like they say the baby daddy always get the draws. Like he could disappear for 10 years, come back and be like, I wanna
Oh
work it out.
yeah, like I had a live and I had two women on the live and she said verbatim like, "Oh, if he got a baby mom, he could crack that at any time." That's how she said it, right? Like he could get with that at any time. That's why I can't be with no man that got a baby mama or whatever, whatever. But it's so true for a lot of women.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? Because it's like they really say that's the thing. Like, and I think that deep down, these women, and make sure y'all like the videos y'all coming in. And I think deep down, these women, they just in that cycle of like, I want to make things right for my child with the father, right? And it's like a dude could just come in and swindle them and be like, I've been thinking about the baby, and these dudes do that shit all the time. They get locked up. They be like, yo,
Yeah. And women need to stand up. Women women lose all sense when it comes to a man. Any little sense that God has bestowed upon them, that is gone. It's gone. The minute they get them a man, it's gone. They ain't got no sense. And then they want to complain about behavior that they tolerate
yeah. And I would say that to
and
some
don't
sisters,
call
like
out.
they neglect their friends, they neglect family.
Yes, like women just do the most. Like men will tell you out the gate, nah, this been my boy since I was 2. Don't
Facts.
nobody come above my nigga right here. I don't give a fuck. I'm deeply in love with you, but you're not coming before Jaquan.
Where I'm going to the game with Jaquan. I don't care.
And I don't
Oh,
care. You know what I mean? Men stand up. Women do not stand up. They husband, oh, I gotta check in with my husband. Okay, which I don't really have a problem with because I think it's a respect thing.
yeah.
Like I'm letting my husband know I'm going somewhere, okay? Not asking for permission. I'm letting him know. I think it's a
What's wrong with
respect thing.
asking though? What's wrong with asking?
What are you asking for? Is he asking you when Jaquan said it's a game?
I think
No, no, no,
is
no, 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 no. I think it's just a respect thing. Let me finish. It's just a respect thing, okay? I don't have a problem with my friend calling they man and being like, right? But the issue is when he say, "Oh, he said I couldn't go." What do you mean? What do you
it's a
mean?
respect thing. It's a respect thing.
But see, they don't explain it like that. It's just like, "Oh, he said I can't go." I'm like, "Okay, but we literally just going to the movies. Oh, I just can't go." To me, it's like, okay, you giving him too much power. You're doing too much. You're not standing up. Okay. I ain't seen you in how long? Like, it's just not, I'm not going to put a married woman or a woman that is in a relationship in a situation that's going to jeopardize her relationship.
You not.
Like, I'm not one of those friends. So when it comes to like conversations, it's like, and your man told you no to me, it's
Yeah, but
weird.
but you're not my
You a
friend. I
hater.
don't, I don't know you. You're not my friend.
You a hater. That's weird. But I'm telling you where we going. You act like
Yeah,
I'm
but
taking
if
her
I'm
to the strip club.
but it's like this, right? If you my wife and Letitia want to take you somewhere, right? And I'm just like dependent. I might just be like I might let's say I just scroll through her Instagram or something, and I just be like, nah, I really don't see. Because look, a lot of times, let's just be real, right?
See, this
Men
is the
have a
problem
responsibility.
now.
Look, men have a responsibility over their community, not just their women, like their whole community. We've been given a certain strength. We've been given the leadership that we did not want. I would say that we did not want this shit, right? Because it's so much pressure, right, on a man to especially when he has mouths to feed and people to look after, right? Like even your mama be you have your own family and your mama still think you fucking gotta run around and go get her and drive her places and build her a house. Like your mom will still feel like that, right? So it's a lot of responsibility, right, on a man, right? And then it's just like, and don't let you be the good man of the family, because then everybody feels like they're entitled to your help or your protection and all of this shit, right? Especially if you got a lot of ain't shit motherfuckers in your family. So then it's like everybody is like, oh, let's call what's the name? Because he a good dude. He ain't gonna say no, or he gonna look out, or his mom raised him right. And so the point I'm trying to get to is like we have a responsibility, and sometimes our sisters don't be looking at it like that. They don't look at it like I'm trying to prevent you from going somewhere, because it's like I gotta go out there. I'm the one that gotta respond. Letitia ain't fucking responding when some shit go down. You get what I'm saying? I'm the one that gotta stick my neck out. Like somebody smack you, okay, Letitia might yell and do some shit, but it's like I gotta go down there. You get what I'm saying? I gotta be the one to go stick my neck out to defend you and protect you, not Letitia. You get what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes when we say certain things, we know men. Like for example, if you're my wife, if I tell you don't wear that, what do the women do today? You can't control me. And it's like a lot of our sisters don't be thinking. The world is not how it.
Yeah.
The world is not how it should be. It's a fucked up place. So if I know you wearing a mini skirt, like I was talking to this girl one time, and I'm gonna shut up. And she put on this shirt. Like you could Google what you could Google like slut shirt or some shit like that. You could literally Google this slut shirt, and it's like them shirts where like the nipples be showing, and it's like they got them for men too. Like, but I feel like gay men be wearing them. They be having like the see-through shirts and shit, but they have them for women too, right? If you Google slut shirt, like you'll see like these variety of shirts that is like, come on, this is supposed to be some house stuff, but women are wearing it outside. And I was telling this girl like that shit look crazy. Like I didn't. I, I'm not trying to see, and it's crazy that men have to even really like be careful with what they say, because it's like everything is you're a misogynist and a sexist and shit. But sometimes I don't be giving a fuck. And I was like, yo, look, that shit look crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that shirt look mad slutty. I ain't even gonna hold you. And she was like, wow, that's mad disrespectful. I was like, I'm being honest, right? And it's like I know men. Like, first of all, the moment I see you with a see-through shirt and your nipples, her nipples was literally, I could see her nipples. I'm just like, in my mind as a man, you with it. That's just how men think, right? It's gonna be like she come out, she looking to get turned. She with it. It's not about we shouldn't think like that. We shouldn't sexualize. This is nature. This is how it is. It's not about how the world should be. And I think a lot of times our sisters don't understand that this is gonna bring negative attention. And when we just try to like tell you like what's gonna happen, we can't get into the man shouldn't or whatever. Granted, we can agree with that, but it's like, what is the probability that motherfuckers gonna be on you? You're gonna get a lot of unwanted attention, and shit could be, even get disrespectful. And we just be trying to prevent that for you. But a lot of times our sisters don't see that; they just look at control. You're like you thinking, you're like you thinking, you know.
I'm thinking because I'm not entirely disagreeing. Like I said, like a lot of it is just a respect thing. It's not really like to control and dictate and tell you what to do. But I think women just relinquish too much control. Like, dang, you
What's too
can't.
much control to you?
I think like you taking it to like the club and all that. I think you know what your man is okay with, and I think you shouldn't put yourself in certain situations where he's gonna have to go all the way down there and beat somebody up. You know what I mean? Like, don't be stupid, right?
Question,
But I
question,
also
right?
think
If you was married, when you get dressed, would you consult with your husband, or would you be the type to like, I'm just gonna wear whatever the fuck I want? Be honest now.
I'm not consulting on dress. On attire, I'm not consulting. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not consulting. I
Okay.
mean, I wouldn't wear what you described, but I'm not having
You know, these things are good to know. Peace. These things are good to know because it's like this goes back to the respect thing, right? It's like,
not
and
on dress. Like, I'm telling you where I'm going. If you tell me no, you can explain to me why, and I think the reason okay, yeah, I don't think it's safe or whatever. Then okay. But to just be like, nah, you ain't wearing that. Like, who is you?
your husband.
No,
I think that's
no.
valid. I think like if you look at because look, I watched the video. I should have probably had the video up, right? I watched the video and the dude said when you say yes to a man, right? He said, I don't need you thinking of yes as in, oh, the love of my life, and we're gonna be happy for the, whatever, to the world blow up. He said, I need you to think of saying yes as in you're agreeing that he's about to be your boss, right? Or you're agreeing that, you know, this man is about to have some type of control, right, over your life. um you're agreeing to leadership because women get this shit fucked up all the time. They're saying we want a leader, we want a protector, we want all of these things, but those things come with conditions. They come with, you have to listen, you have to know how to be a good follower, you have to know how to part of having a leader, you're giving up some type of control to that leader, right? But when these women get into these things, it's like you can't control me, you can't tell me what to do, you can't do this. You didn't want a leader. You just wanted somebody to maintain you. That's all you wanted. And it's totally different. It's just like it's a difference with children, right? It's the same thing. It's a difference between maintaining a child and raising one. Two different things. Providing food, clothing, shelter for a child, that's some regular shit, right? A lot of parents do that, but they don't pour into their child. They never around. They don't talk to them. They don't have dinner with them. They don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know their friends. They don't know what they have. They don't know shit about their kids, right? So it's the same thing in a marriage. And I think and that's why I say a lot of people, like, I'll be honest with myself. Am I ready to get married? Like, I could say all day, I want to get married. I'm ready. But it's like a lot of people not ready. You're not ready to have that responsibility over somebody. And a lot of people is not ready to give up. A lot of our sisters is not ready to give that up either.
That's more so what I was speaking to. Like, a lot of us aren't ready to give that up. Like,
Like you talking about can't tell
not
me what to
on
do.
that specific thing. No, not on dress. Like, maybe something else, but not on that. And again, this is something that you're gonna have a conversation with the person that you're with about. Like, it rates a conversation. It's not a just you said it and it's done.
But if you
Like,
trust me,
nah.
right? If you pick me, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah.
pick me to be your leader, wouldn't you trust my judgment though? Wouldn't you be like, I'm gonna trust my
But
husband on
I
this
but
one?
but I can't question the judgment.
No, no, no.
That's what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
saying.
It's a conversation. It rates a conversation. And I think also too, like, it's just hard because you dealing with two grown people that just don't want to. No one wants to like acquiesce to the other person. Like, it's
I
like
mean,
it's my way or the highway, and I think that's the issue.
but if you pick me, right, I will assume that you trust me, right? Is that safe to say? If you say yes, and this is why the brother was saying
Yeah.
when you say yes, you have to look at yes in a certain light. When you say, but this is why I say people just be saying one thing and they don't really mean it, right? Because it's like when you're saying yes, I expect you to
hmm
like trust me, right? Like if you got some money and I be like, and we talking about how we gonna do something with the money, and you saying you want a leader, and I break some shit down a certain way, and I be like, yo, I think this is what we should do, right? You gotta have some type of trust. Listen, we
Right.
married. You made
Yeah.
a
I mean,
beautiful.
you breaking it down and you explaining it. Yeah.
Yeah,
In my brain, it just always computes to like people aren't having these conversations,
yeah.
and it's just, oh, what he say go. I'm just saying on the woman's side because women like literally will leave their friends. Like you ain't heard from them in years, and then boom, next you know she filed for divorce, and now she trying to be at your spot all the time. Like it's like no, that's not how this is about to go. That's
Nah, I
why
agree.
I have to set boundaries with my friends that are in relationships. Like don't come to me complaining about them. Like don't be doing the most. You're doing too much because you're not gonna leave them.
Yeah,
Let's
I
call a
agree.
thing a thing.
I agree. I think you should have friends. Um, however, I do think as a husband, yo, I got a responsibility, man. Like I just got a responsibility. Who your friends?
Yeah,
Like
and no, and
where you going?
nobody is disagreeing with that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing and that's wrong. I just think everything rates a conversation that needs to be discussed. It's
Like this,
not a end
You
all
going to
be
Greek
all.
town? Like you going to Greek town with that mini skirt? Nah, man. Nah.
Not
Like this,
Rick Cam.
like this, nah, man. Nah. Put something else on. Mm-mm. Don't say, oh, I'm coming too.
Yeah, or that. And a lot of women bring their man, which is so annoying. But hey, you will bring your man because he know other men, and you know that's what they say. So it's there. But
Yeah,
that's just my thoughts on it. I'm not against it. Again, I think it's just a respect thing. I get it.
yeah,
You
because
gotta do what you gotta do.
like, come on, let's be real. If you have some concerns, like, and you express some concerns, because let's just be real, right? The whole Jaquan, not hanging out with Jaquan, a lot of times it just be some jealousy shit. It just be some weird shit, like you always hanging with.
Who's jealous?
No, I'm saying women. Like a lot of times when women be on some with the guys, when they be like hating on the men or the bromance, it don't even be related to
They
like,
because they do it to themselves. This is my complaint. This is my complaint. You worried about your man with Jaquan because you left us. And now we ain't rocking with you no more. Now you don't have no friends to kick it with while he at the Yankee game. You don't have nobody. You isolate yourself. Like that's what I'm saying. Women do themselves a disservice. You isolate yourself. It wasn't him.
yeah,
You blaming it on him saying you can't go. I'm sure he said one of them times. He said you could go to brunch. He said he ain't had no problem with brunch. You know what I mean? But you blaming it all on him because you want to be up under him. You want to be clingy. And now he had a life outside of you and he's still gonna do his thing outside of you. And now you mad about it because you left us to dry. And for
yeah,
what? To no
yeah,
avail. And now you getting on his nerves. Like it's a whole thing.
yeah, and I agree. I think like you should have friends. I don't want my girl all up on me. Like I don't, because when your girl don't got no friends, she gonna know the shit out of you.
That's what I'm saying. You gonna be annoyed to him, and then guess what? Then he gonna leave you because you always doing that. And you always a tag along, and then when it's all guys, why is you bringing your girl? It's vice versa. It's all girls. Why is you bringing your man?
Yeah,
Now talking about dress, right? Out of respect, now I can't wear a certain type of bikini now. Now I gotta wear like I'm wearing a whole one piece, like I'm with family. Cause your man want to come to the girls trip. Like it's a whole thing.
I mean, how you feel about going on girls trips when you marry?
Unless you going to like a downtown area and y'all sightseeing and stuff. But y'all going to Jamaica without your man, why? It need to be a couples trip.
Why you said Jamaica
Like,
though? Out of all places, why you said Jamaica?
sorry. I don't know. Shoot, you going to somewhere
Man,
tropical.
you know why you said Jamaica. There's some rumors coming out of Jamaica, man.
Really?
On them rivers, they talking about the girls getting nasty over there on them.
Oh, on the thing, it's a river, and then the men lotion
Yeah,
you. That
yeah,
right?
yeah. The
That's what I'm
Ocho.
saying. Stuff like that, you shouldn't. And you got a man, you should not be here without your man. Cause why are you on a wooden boat or however they make it with the sticks getting lotion by somebody that's not your man?
Yeah,
Cause
yeah,
now I'm telling.
yeah. Shit
You
is,
know what I mean?
and
Stuff
I
like
also think,
that. But if you going to like Chicago, y'all sightseeing, y'all going to museums, like regular stuff, I don't think your man should be there.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think when you get married, man, I think a lot of shit change, man. And I think that's why I say a lot of people is not ready for that, right? Like they get married and they still think like I could be at the club every weekend or like like you have to change certain things. And I think like friendships is a big thing, right? Because I think like if you got a lot of single friends and you marry, I don't expect if anything, your friends are gonna be in opposition to me because I'm still in their friend away, right? And a lot of times that creates situations, right? Because if you talking to your single friends about certain things, some of them might say the little smart shit, oh, it couldn't be me. That's why I ain't married. And like all of that shit, it takes a toll, right? Like constantly
Right.
hearing certain things and women snickering about your relationship and it couldn't be me. That yeah, that's why you single, right? And it's like it takes sacrifice, it takes certain things. And I just think that it's like the same thing happened with men, right? That's why I said like I wouldn't disagree. Like if a woman know my friends and they be like, man, this motherfucker always out and he always like on some where the bitch is at, like or some like I would understand why like my wife might not want me with Jaquan if Jaquan is like that type of dude. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of times it just be some hating on the bro man shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it just be like, man,
A
like
lot of times it's just hate because they isolate themselves from their own friends. I
yeah,
said what I
yeah.
said.
And they expect
Now
you to
you
do it
ain't got
too.
no friends. Now your man is your only friend. That's why it hurts more when it ends.
Yeah,
Because you
that's
ain't had nobody the whole
like
time.
like
And I
like
also
to
think women in relationships need to stop oversharing. That's again why I set boundaries with my friends that are in relationships. You gotta stop oversharing things with your single friends about your relationship.
yeah. Like Terrell said,
Like
we
some
come
of
from
that you need to keep to yourself.
yeah, that's true too. I agree. Like Terrell said, we come from broken families. A lot of us ain't prepared for marriage because of it. And that's true. And I think like a lot of guys be thinking like it's just the women, but it's like yo, a lot of dudes ain't ready to get married. Like you know what I'm saying?
At all,
We
in the
still walk we
slightest.
still walk
And
around
that's
with
why I disagree with the whole finger pointing, like, oh, y'all not doing this as women. And oh, y'all not like bye. Bye.
so Kenny, your favorite
Okay, Kenny from the A.
your favorite co-moderator here. I don't think he on. He might. Well, he might know who you are now because I.
Now, yeah.
But this Ash Kenny, I was going at it one time on the chat.
Was
Um,
we? I don't remember.
yeah. Where one time I don't know. Kenny was tripping one time, man. Like
Nah,
I
he
don't
was
know.
on something. He was on something.
I think he was on that fentanyl one time. I don't know what was going on, man. Everybody on that. They said Kodak Black was tested positive for some fentanyl recently. I don't know, man. I'm sure a lot of people messing with that fentanyl, man. I don't know, but yeah, like a lot of people is not ready, and I think like
At all.
and that's why I try to pay attention, um, because I pay attention to people's friends, right? There's a saying in Islam from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Man is on the religion of his friend, so be careful who your friends are." Right?
Right.
So it's like a lot of the people that I used to do certain things with, and I'm no longer doing it. Like we kind of like fall out. Like you don't those things no longer hold you together. So when I encounter women and like a lot of your friends is hoes, and they talking crazy, like they just saying greasy, outlandish shit, and you're just like, but that's my bitch. That's my like. It's just like I'll be looking at them like, oh, because I know people be hiding how they really feel. I know people be hiding like what they really want to say, what they really want to do. Like some people just want to go crazy, but it's like they try to keep the modest persona, or they try to like just hide who they really are. So you gotta really pay attention because a lot of people is not gonna be real. They're not just gonna come out and say like, yo, this who I am. And I respect those women. Like on some G shit, I respect those, even though I might not agree. I respect a person who is honest from the beginning, who be like, "I'm gonna do what I'm
Hmm.
gonna do." Like I'm, like
That's why I said, like, I may not agree with it, but you 10 toes down on it. I mean, it happened.
yeah. She be like, "I'm gonna fuck for money. I'm gonna do this.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna do
like the
that." I be like,
video so we can circulate. Yes. Mm-mm. Not you freezing up on me. Anyways, I'm gonna continue on. Cause everybody, hold on, let me read the comments on my own because okay, Khadijah said transparency. Cause y'all was like, I don't agree with how she think talking about me. That's okay. Cause we really saying the same thing. I'm just packaging it differently. It's really not different.
Yeah.
Who? Jason? That's the problem with her. Look at how not serious she is. Who you talking about? Me?
Yeah. Yeah. Look at you ready to fight because women can divorce you and still live off of your money. Oh,
And see,
somebody
and
told
this
me.
is like also too what I don't like. I think we just do a lot of finger pointing in the black community. Well, you did this and you did that, and then no one wants to take accountability and change their behavior.
We got a question. Why women
What's the
friendships
question?
weaken and mean friendships get stronger when entering relationships?
Wait,
Men,
what?
I
Hold
think
on,
they
let
meant
me
men.
read.
They said why women friendships weaken and men friendships get stronger when they enter relationships.
Because women drop their friends the minute they get a man. Again, like I said, they lose all sense that God has bestowed upon them, and they drop their friends like a bad habit. Just drop them
I
and don't
wouldn't.
care.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think. Yeah, I
And
would say
don't
that.
care until they need them, until you need community, girlfriends around you to rally around you and be like, yeah. Girl, bye. Not you yawning.
Nah, it, I think men relationships get stronger because I think a lot of times the woman don't understand the man, right? And I think that like a man, he can't complain to the
Mm.
woman. You know,
Right, right, right.
he
Yeah.
can't sit there. But the men, we exactly understand each other, right? Like a man will try to talk to his woman, and there will be like the finger pointing, the back and forth, the blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah.
like it's always a finger point, and it's like if you just change your behavior, it'd be okay.
So I think a lot of times guys, they just like they don't like a lot of men of old, like they just let their woman have it. They was just like, I'm not even arguing with you. Like they'd rather go talk to the guys. They'll go to the bar. It used to be dudes. I used to see dudes. I see dudes go to the bar like every week, like every day. Like they'll be at the bar and dudes be married. And I'll be like, damn, they must be going through it. Like for you to go to the bar every day for after work, you know, it's like, damn, what's going on at home? You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's why men relationships get stronger. Like I think it's like this, like especially if they're married. If they're married friends, like they get together, they talking about the wives and shit. Man, this man, you wouldn't believe what this chick did. You know what I'm saying? Or it's kind of like an escape from the realities of, because a lot of times like people be talking like I'm not gonna hold you. I'm a man. It's annoying as shit to deal with women sometimes. Like I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
hold
I think, and that's why I think it's detrimental to for women to just like drop their friends, cause you need to have your own friends
you. Yeah.
to talk your shit about each other and just be cool, you know what I mean? Or have your own little activities, your own little hobbies outside of each other and then come back. It's like kind of like when you miss each other. Like if you don't ever have that, or you always on his heel asking him where he at and you don't have no business, it's like it get old fast.
Yeah, yeah. I think like, and I think that's why a lot of women wanted to probably work. They probably was bored at home. Like, but I'm like, man,
Yeah, yeah. Work or like or even contribute. I mean, black women have always worked, but
don't say that too
yeah.
loud, but they're gonna be like, oh, so the new movement now is this whole the same way this whole modesty movement, the whole to modesty pipeline. The new saying is like this is their soft era. So
Which I
this
think
is
is
like
so dumb.
so
It's
I'm
not an
hearing
era. It's not an era. Let's look up how long an era is supposed to be.
era is like
It's not an
what?
era.
I forgot how many years is an era. Um, but it's
Everyone
funny.
always misusing words. One era is hundreds of millions of years in duration. It's
That's
not an
crazy.
era.
Yeah, so this is the new
And
thing,
you're
and
not
this is
soft. I'm going in.
yeah, and this is the thing though. But this is how these women be following each other, like kind of like the Amber Rose thing, right? Like it's like, oh, when she was talking the whole stuff, the come on down, like everybody was jumping on the when Superhead came out and she was talking about how she was getting dudes and she was doing like a lot of people were doing the video vixen thing, right? They was doing whatever they was doing. And now like there's an exodus, right? It's like I don't know if the podcasts are working, I don't know what it is. But I think that old hoes, they sabotage younger women because they know they're competing with them, right? And I think a lot of older hoes, they tell younger women because they know the men want a younger woman. They know they molded bread, they already hit the wall, and the guys ain't really checking for them like that. So what they do is, I feel like they send this message to the younger women that they know the guys want, and they tell them, yeah, go out there and live your life. Like they taint them so that they could be in the same boat with them because they're in competition with each other. And then after they taint them, they be like, them young girls wilding too. What you gonna do now? Right? It's like it's almost like they trying to put themselves back in the game, right? Because they're like, yo, these girls 22 with like 10, 15 bodies already. Like, so you can't even because one of the things that why guys used to say, oh, the younger women, they got less bodies, they got less trauma, they got less experience in being hurt and being and whatever, right? Um, so it's like, but if you're encountering these younger women now, like they coming off the gate with already, if from a young age they're already being told it's okay to do this, it's okay to like, so they getting wild, right? By the time they get 22, 23, they done got like 15, 20. So it's like what you thought you was gonna get a deal on, you really not. Yeah, you might get a younger womb, but it's like they getting crazy. They're getting crazier and crazier. Like society has been sexualized way, from a younger age. Like you got little babies with little like weird grown up clothes. Like it's crazy, right? So I think a lot of times older women give bad advice on purpose to kind of like take out the competition. Um, and I think it's
I didn't
like
think of it like that.
yeah, because a lot of women know they be mad. Like, but back to the soft era thing, because I hear a lot of women complain, a lot of older women, they be like, oh, men be taking advantage. They just want to take advantage of younger women. Like, you guys are just like predators. And it's like, shorty, when you was young, you were chasing older men. It's literally the same
Which is
shit.
so weird. Yeah, it was the same thing.
It's literally the same shit. The younger women are chasing older men, and older men wanted younger women. But now when these women get older and they're molded bread, and like the dudes ain't checking for them no more. They want to call them predators and they want to call them all of this crazy shit. But it's like, yo, you was literally doing the same shit. Like it's only a different cycle. But they really saying that because it's like you're not getting the attention no more. And so this is the new thing now. Like they're in the soft girl era. They don't want to be independent no more. They're saying like all of these crazy things. Like it's just like, and it's like, shorty, like it's the delusion. Like social media really got us in the delusion because, like you said, black women have always worked, always, right? And black women don't even realize the reason why they started even going to school in high numbers is because the type of work that they were doing was nanny work, and a lot of women were being sexually assaulted by their white bosses. So what did they say? They was like, nah, fuck that. You ain't gonna be doing no nanny work. Go to school, get an education so you could go work in some damn office. It's less likely because you're not working in somebody's house. You get what I'm saying? So the chances of the access to it, I mean, you could still get harmed, but it reduces. It was like a harm reduction thing. So a lot of
There's a
people don't
HR department. Like there's other things
even,
in place.
yeah, like there's co-workers, there's a lot of shit going on, right? So it's like a lot of people don't even know the history of like how we even got here today. Um, damn, why woman? Oh, damn, that was the same thing. Yeah, so it's very interesting, but that's the new thing right now. The new thing right now is like they're in a soft girl era. Um, and it's like I'm like, yo, like and it's hard to talk to them because it's like a lot of our sisters don't like numbers. They don't like stats. They don't like, so when you tell them like, yo, the average man makes like $50,000 a year. Like, what the fuck
Mhm.
you think? What the fuck you think you're getting, right? And then you expect lashes, nails, and your hair done every 2 weeks. And like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But those conversations get redundant, and that's why I told brothers like, you can't keep having these conversations with these sisters.
Yeah, it just it's not going nowhere. Clearly, same topic, same like it's not doing nothing.
Yeah, that's why you just got to build. So back to this. So
Okay, so the soft girl thing.
no, I was gonna say the whole thing. So yeah, I think there is some type of, I don't know if there's a pipeline, but I do think, I don't know. I would like to see how this plays out. Because I hear some brothers, I talk to some brothers, I'll be on Clubhouse, and some brothers be saying they don't care about the body count, like, but I think every man care about the body count. And I think that the guys who say they don't care, they just don't ask. Because if they did ask and they didn't know the number, they would feel some type of way, right? So they just be on some ignorance is bliss. I don't ask, I don't care, I won't know. Because I'm pretty sure, like, from the dudes that say that, I'm pretty sure if a chick pulled up and was like, "Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I fuck like 2,000 niggas," like like that chick said in that interview. I don't think they will be there. Like, that's cool. It's all love. Like, I don't care about, like, I just don't think they would do that. I mean, somebody did White Superhead, but I just don't think that, like, most guys are doing that knowingly. I just don't believe that. But I do think that certain things shouldn't be held against somebody past. Um, yeah, I think for me, I say I'm gonna do it, but I just think I will have to know, like if you honest, one, like if you came clean and was like, I ain't gonna hold you, shit, I was wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, and how you say it to me, right? Like, if you say it on some glorifying shit, it's just like the dudes that talk about running the streets and gang banging and shooting people and doing all of that shit. Like, how are you talking about that? If you bragging about it, like, I'm looking at you funny. You get what I'm saying? But so the same thing applies to the ladies, right? Like, if you had a dark past and you did certain things, I would want to know, like, how are you talking about it today, right? Like, are you like, girl, man, I was, man, I used to be, man, girl, like, you reminiscing and shit. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. You reminiscing. You miss it. And when you miss certain things, at some point it's gonna creep out, right? Like, these are the type of girls, when they get mad at you, they go fuck somebody. They go do some wild, crazy shit, right? The moment there's a issue and there's uncertainty, or you do something, you forgot to take the trash out, she mad. I'm being the extra, but you get what I'm saying. Like, any little thing they look for, like, yeah, I'm about to go fuck somebody, like, because this is what is ingrained in them. This is what so you don't really want to be with that type of person. So yeah, I think you need to know how her like I said that one time, right? I said, for me, it's not so much about the number, it's about how you got them. Like, sometimes I talk to certain girls and I ask them, how many relationships you been in? They'll tell me two. And I'll be like, okay, how many people you slept with? 20. Like, what the fuck? You been in two relationships?
That's
Damn,
how it's going. That's how it's going.
damn,
Or
you
they
could,
be with the one dude for a while over here, one dude over here, like nobody's claiming them.
yeah, like, I'll be like, I don't know, man. Like, but yeah, like I said, I think it's more how, like, come on, like, if you on some, like, dudes was running trains on me, and, like, I fucked a few dudes in the staircase, like, it's just kind of like, yeah, like, I'm just gonna be like, nah.
I'm trying not to laugh. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna be like,
and that's what
what?
I was saying in the opening. Like, I feel like men just hold sex to a high standard that is like, girl, you really not. just be honest. Like that's all I can say is just be honest and stand in your truth.
I'll be saying that too. I'll be like, because this is my thing, right? Oh, this is my son Top Gun. My whole thing is like this, right? If you're so-called liberated, right, and you're free, and this to Amber Rose point, it's your body, your choice. You can do whatever the hell you want to do with it. You ain't got no shame. Nobody can shame you, etc. I'm with you. But if that's the case, why are you afraid to tell somebody how many people you slept with? I just don't get that. Like if you really feel it in your heart, I don't give a fuck. I'm liberated, XYZ. When I ask you how many men you slept with, you should be able to tell me. It shouldn't be no run around like mind your business. That's none of your business. Like,
Okay,
like,
why does it matter?
what you mean? Why does it matter? Because we care about
Yeah, why does
it. Like, you just said it. You
No,
just said it
I'm just asking, I'm
for
just
her.
asking just
From
to
her.
ask. It's not like for me. I just want to
No,
know
no. I
like
thought you. So I thought you asking like why it matters for her, like why she can't tell you
no,
if she
I'm
don't care.
saying like
Oh, for men. You asking men.
this no, yeah, like okay. Why do you care about body count?
But yeah, yeah, we care. Come on, like
So
listen.
that's why people is lying to y'all about their body count because
But
they
but
trying to get with you.
but that's what I'm saying. Like if you like you said, right? Let's say you on here talking about like I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what Big got to say. I don't give a fuck what no man. You
And
going
then you
crazy.
say it.
You going crazy, and I'll be like, all right, so how many dudes, how many dudes you let
And
tap
then
that?
you just gotta say it.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. My whole thing is if
Oh,
you
okay.
really,
So then we agreeing. We
yeah,
agreeing.
that's what I'm saying. If you really don't care, you should tell people. And I think once you tell me, like, I got a decision to make, right? Because it's like I respect it, right? And that's why I say all the time, like I say, a woman don't gotta tell me her number. It's just about how you go about it. Because I could literally be like, we could be talking or whatever. I'm not gonna ask you in the first time I meet you, but like, we might be talking. I'm be like, oh, how many relationships you been in? Boom, 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 and then bam, I might just ask you. Or I might, I
That's
walk
how
you
it
down.
always goes. It go boom. So and then
Yeah.
like be honest.
Yeah, I might walk you down. I might be like, "Oh, what do you think about sexual liberation?" See, people, you could just ask and to gauge the mind of a woman. You could be like, "How you feel about sexual liberation?" And they might be like, "Yeah, because I could do whatever." And like, once a woman start talking a certain way, you already could gauge like what type of woman she is, right? And then bam, you hit her with the, "So how many guys you slept with?" And then if she gets all like, "Oh, why you wanna know that?" Like, like it's like if you ain't got
That's
none of
why
her,
sexual liberation is like a trap in it of itself at the same time because it's just like you're not liberated.
yeah,
You just giving men access to what they be chasing. And
yeah.
that's what makes dating even harder because it's like, oh, you ain't gonna put out well, so and so is, so I'm gonna just go over there. I'm not gonna put forth no effort because it's women that's just gonna do whatever. Like if that's our power, right? And men hold access to relationships, like they ask you to be their girl, whatever, however they get down, and you already giving it up. Why is your expectation for the relationship, if it is one, to be defined?
Yeah, yeah, I think, and yeah, and
It's a
it's like,
gimmick. It's a trick bag. You literally just gave him what he want. Bye. He don't left now.
yeah, I tell chicks that all the time, and it's like, I said, like, you don't even realize, like, at one point we had to marry you just to have sex. Like, we literally, like, people don't even know, right?
It
Well,
was
women,
more.
okay. Women don't even know, like, yo, getting pussy was a motivation was enough motivation to get a man to get his shit together, because he knew he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get no pussy. He couldn't get no pussy unless he married you,
Unless he did what he was supposed to do.
and otherwise he was gonna have to go pay. And even if he was going to pay prostitutes, he still needed some money. So getting pussy was an incentive, right?
To do what they needed to do. And now all I gotta do is slide in your DM and it's on.
It's
I'm
no
flying to
motivation.
your city.
it's no motivation nowadays, right?
And that's
For
why
a
it's a
man.
trick bag. And now men are like, so what else you bring to the table? And we over here looking dumb, like, what else I'm bringing to the table? Because he didn't got that already. Now, ooh, now I gotta actually be funny. I gotta have a personality. I gotta like do more, you know? And
Yeah.
women are lazy. I'm one of those women. I'm lazy. I don't feel like being in competition with anybody else you talking to. I don't.
So
I don't.
so so how do you expect to like? I
I
mean,
don't expect nothing,
you
Vic.
probably
I
don't
don't
even
expect
care.
nothing.
You probably don't even care. You like, I'm about to get me a cat. You're like that. I'm about to
I
give
don't
me a
like
cat.
cats, but yeah, I don't care. I'm a different. I feel like I'm different because I'm just like
She said, I'm
I ain't
not
doing
finna
all that.
compete. I don't care. You like me? You don't like
You
whatever.
either like me or you don't. Like, oh, well, I don't feel like you doing. And this is not to say because I'm sounding a little extreme. This is not to say that I won't do for somebody or whatever, whatever. But I'm just
Mm.
saying, like, to do the most. Who is John?
That's John Doe. That's Top Gun. He had that other account, Top Gunner.
Jesus, I'm done with him.
He said she looked like a good woman, right? She looked like she going to church. She like a church girl in the 70s. All she missing is the gloves. The gloves and the they used to have the gloves and the
Good night. Bye. Cause
yeah, but
no.
whatever number she tell you. They said somebody said whatever number she tells you, you got to times about five and add two. These dudes is crazy.
Not an attitude. And see, and that's another thing. Like when you are honest, okay, I'm speaking for the girls that body count is low. Okay, when you are honest and your shit is low, like men don't believe you anyway. So it's like, what difference do it make? It don't make a difference.
I say this right.
They don't believe it.
This one thing I noticed when having these conversations, and I try to give the brothers some game. Women take pride in having low body counts, right? The ones who believe in the modesty stuff, right? They
Mm-hmm.
take pride. They're not gonna hesitate to tell you. They're not gonna. But
Yeah, it's no
the
hesitation.
woman who will be like mind your business, like why you gonna know and do all of that shit, and then after they did all of that shit, they tell you three. They lying because women take pride in being out here. Listen, I used to have one of my middle school sweetheart. She used to take. See, back then was a little different. Like it was there was hoes, but it wasn't like I'm 32, right? There was hoes, but that shit it was not as rampant as it is today, right? It was like specific girls that got around that was just like with the staircase action. It was specific girls. In my whole school, it probably was like 20 hoes. Like no lie, it was like 20 hoes, like maybe 30, right? That were hoes that like like that people was like, yo,
They
everybody getting they
know.
shit sucked.
Everyone knows.
Like they was known for sucking, like they was known for giving it up. And then you might have had girls who you had to be their boyfriend. I don't really call them hoes, right? Because at least they was damn, they were putting the pressure to get a relationship.
A standard, right? It was a standard.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Those,
either with me,
yeah, they was on some like
and
you ain't
that's
getting none
that.
of this. Like we gotta, even if you skedaddle after, they still was
But
on
they
some like,
got, yeah, you had to do that first.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? There was just like, and some girls went even further. You had to be their boyfriend, and they made you wait. They was on some you gonna wait. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna buy me Valentine gifts at least. You know what I'm saying? You gonna buy me this. Like
Yeah,
so,
it was definitely girls like that in my
people were
school.
getting stuff, and I think that again, like nowadays, some of these women, like I made a video because these women were complaining about not getting dates, and it's like men have no
Yeah, I watched that.
incentive. Like men have no drive when the coochie
No,
when they getting the coochie for free. Like
no,
they're literally getting into the draws for nothing. Like you think it's liberating, but in reality, it
it's
works
not.
for men. It works for
It's
men.
all to appease men.
Like, and it's like, yo, this shit is crazy.
I think it's
Christian,
crazy that people are saying that they don't go on dates. Like,
yeah,
I
I'll
feel
be looking
bad
at,
for
I be,
you.
I be looking at some girls like even like sometimes like girls that I'm just cool with, right? Like I'm gonna be like, oh, let's go out, let's go grab a bite or something. And like it'd be so shocking when they be like kind of like nobody ain't ever asked me to go nowhere. And I'll be like,
The FBI couldn't even get that out of me. I was like, let's roll. Like, if that was true, like if that was my reality, let's go. Or like I know like some of my guy friends, they be saying like some girls be like, oh, no one paid for me. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, man. I'm gonna act real natural if that's my reality.
yeah, that shit is crazy. So somebody asks, um, do you find the stereotype of New York women to be true? Aggressive and non-cooperative, they put.
You can go because you have a lot of comments. I was just a visitor when I
I mean,
went,
so go ahead.
so
What did you experience from your visit?
I feel like think like New York women were that bad. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. I was in Brooklyn to be specific. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Was they loud? Yes, that wasn't nothing that I wasn't used to. I will say, okay, this is one thing that I know is they're quick to anger. And I don't know if it's like a defense mechanism, like to just know, like 9 times out of 10, they're not really with the shit, but it's like to let you know I'm with the shit so you don't try me. Like,
I
it's
think
really weird.
I think that angry shit is a black thing.
That's why I didn't think it was anything that was like out of the normal, but I will say they were more quick to anger. Like being loud is one thing.
Yeah,
Having an attitude is one thing. But
yeah,
to like be like we about to throw blows
yeah,
right now over what?
yeah,
Like the confusion level for me, like I'm from the Midwest, like for me, it was just like, I don't understand what's happening.
yeah. I feel like in those states it's a little different because like
Yeah, it's a little different.
people could
But
carry
to
guns.
be,
Like ain't nobody finna walk up to you in Detroit. Like man, you get blasted.
yeah,
Like
and not only that, but it's just like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like I feel like the New York women that I encountered, they was cool. Um, but it was just like the quick to anger thing for me was
yeah,
just like
yeah. Like some
it
people
ain't
be like,
even that
yeah,
serious, like especially towards men. And again, I don't know if it's a defense mechanism. I don't know if like that's just how they be moving, but it's like a dude could like hold the door and then it's like the fuck you holding the door for? What you still standing there for? Like, whoa,
yo,
whoa.
this
He
is
couldn't
funny.
even get a thank you.
This
Like
is
nothing. It's
this
like,
is
geez.
this is mad funny. So when the pandemic shit was going on, I went to CVS. I went to CVS. I went to CVS to go get something. So they was going crazy, but like whenever you went inside somewhere, you had to put the mask on. They was like, yo, you gotta put the mask on. So it's like it was mad annoying. You gotta put the shit on. And then but I never really wore my mask like during the whole pandemic. Like, so I will always take my shit off when I got to the street. Like as soon as I come out the door, like I take the shit off. So I'm walking. I went to the store, I come out, and I was like trying to situate myself because I had shit in my hand. So I was trying to like put shit in my pockets and shit. So this is black girl, this is this chick walking towards me, right? So I go to take off my mask because I just came out the spot and I was just walking. So I go to take off my mask. As I took off my mask, like I like I maybe she thought she was whispering. I don't know. Maybe my sense of hearing is my sense of hearing is a little heightened. Like all my senses is like kind of like heightened. But I overheard her telling because she talking to somebody on the phone. So she tells somebody on the phone like, "This dude about to come over here try to talk to me," because I took my mask off, right? So it was just and I heard that, and I was just like I just had this face, like, yo, I don't know if this be the stuck upness that be making dudes just want to say some foul, disrespectful shit. But at that moment, I was like I want to be like, which, like, nobody was even like, yo, but
And that's what I mean. Like, it's either that or you get the dramatic New York
yeah,
woman. Like, why are you so dramatic?
yeah, yeah, and again, like, but I get it. I would say this. I think New York people overall, we are viewed as being aggressive. I don't think it's just a women thing. I think
Yeah,
overall,
it's
like
definitely like a misinterpretation. I think people think like y'all are like that like 25/8, and it's really not like that. You really have to talk to people when you're there, and people who are like actually from there, not the transplants. Like the people that are actually from there are really cool. It's just the octave is a little bit louder. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But outside of that, I don't think anything of it.
because I ain't gonna hold you. We you know what I'm saying, like we like even when I go different places and we're blunt and we're like straight up and we just don't sugarcoat certain things, and people be like, "Y'all bad rude," like, but it's like, nah, like we just
I don't know. Maybe I just don't receive certain. Maybe I just yeah. I didn't receive it like that. Like it's just like
the way I look at it, I look at people look at New Yorkers how women look at men, right? That we are rude because it's like guys are used to telling each other the truth, right? Like I'll tell my man, yo, you ugly as hell. We'll laugh about it. He'll probably say like, oh, you got a big ass nose, or you got a big ass head, or he'll say something like we'll snap on each other. It's not that serious. You tell a woman, like you joke on her, it's like her feelings is involved. Like that was foul. Why would you say that? Like not all of them, but most of them, it's like you can't tell them the truth, right? You look fat in that dress, like it's a problem, right? If I tell my man's man that tight ass shirt, man, your belly looking man big and that shit, like it's like we'll laugh about it. Like you get what I'm saying? Men been told the truth their whole life, right? And we either laughed about it or we got it together. Like if our sneakers was busted, we try to figure it out, or we either fight about it, like yo, stop snapping on me. We know something gonna happen. Like either we either gonna laugh, we gonna fight, or we just, I'm gonna get my shit together. So you can't make fun of it. So I think it's the same thing with New Yorkers, right? Like it's like we just gonna tell you what's on our mind. Like we gonna let you know what's up. Um, I will say that because the whole city is on always rushing, right? Like people always late. The train always late. There's always a lot of traffic. It's a lot of people that live in the city. Too many cars on the road. So it's like people's always rushing. And when people's rushing, like people don't got time for you walking slow on the road. Like so when I go other places, it's like the pace is slower. People say good morning. Like
yeah.
it's just a different vibe. And I think like
It's
when you're
definitely different. Like I stuck out when I was there. Everybody like, oh, you not from here. You spoke to everybody.
yeah,
You are
yeah,
not
yeah.
from here. But
Yeah.
I
So
didn't think anything of it.
yeah, when you're used to when you see people every day, hundreds of people on the train. Like you barely get a seat sometimes. Like, yo, you're not happy to see people.
The
Yeah,
agitation is high.
yeah,
Like it's just a
yeah,
lot going on. Like you said, people rushing, it's
yeah,
fast. Like, and that's why I was like, I don't know if it's just like
yeah.
the way of life or if it's a defense mechanism. Like, I don't really be knowing what's
It's,
going
it's
on in
all
New
of that.
York.
New York is ranked number one in stress level, high stress levels in the country.
I ca- I felt stressed. Okay, the minute I got off the plane, right, and it was raining, like our bags was wet or whatever. And you know me, little me, I'm like, I don't think anything of this. They pissed. They cussing out the little, not the flight attendant, but the little people at the little desk. Like they had something to do with it. Like it's like the agitation for any little thing take them off edge. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, they
yeah.
ain't having it.
And I
It's always
watched.
a complaint.
You know what's so crazy? Um, we was coming, me and my mans, we was coming back from school one time. It was mad late. Mind you, we used to be in school in the gym, and then we used to just be hanging out and shit, right? Sometimes we used to be doing work. Like I used to do my work in school because I didn't want to do no work at home. I really believe in that shit. Like home is for rest.
Yeah, like do you all your stuff in school.
So one day we coming back. So mind you, like after a certain time, the
Hmm.
train kind of take longer and shit, right? Um, so mind you, we mad tired. We played basketball. We was
Yeah,
sleepy and
y'all did
shit.
it. I'm
We are
listening.
the
I'll be right
so
back.
we yo, how this lady kind of fell. Um, they almost fell like on the train tracks, and they fell like how did that shit happen? Um, it was a lot of people waiting for the train, and I don't know if this lady fell or she was trying to jump on the tracks. we be seeing a lot of that weird shit in New York lately, especially lately. Like people who just been trying to commit suicide in the train, in the subway. Um, and so the lady kind of like fell. Yo, she fell as the train was coming. Like I said, I don't know what the hell was going on. The
Mm-hmm.
train was coming, and she kind of like, cause I don't know if you remember, but they got like the yellow railing. But it'd be like stand back, away from
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, stand
Yo,
back.
she falls and like half her body like off like the thing,
It's
right?
not funny. It's not funny.
Yo, all we kept thinking about, look, look, so somebody pulled her, whatever, like some, cause she was with somebody, so somebody pulled her, or whatever. All me and my man said, like, yo, bro, if she would have died, bro, you know how long it would have took to get home? Yo, that shit.
No, literally everyone was thinking that. Like, okay, so when I went, yeah, I think what you're saying is true. Because when I went, it was a guy, he wasn't gonna kill himself. You know, one of those people that just want attention, they claim they're gonna jump and they're gonna do
Yeah,
this, they're gonna do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We all know he wasn't gonna do nothing. Then we had some people that was like, yo, if you go right now, like they was like, yo, if you go right now, I'm gonna
Hey,
be
what's up?
waiting
What's
here
up?
for X amount of time. Like they weren't even worried about him. They was
Yo,
like, oh my God, it's gonna take X amount of time to do this, this, that, and the third. Like the
yo, that shit
stress
is
be
that.
insane.
Yo, that shit.
New
What's
York
up,
is
Tiffany?
so stressful.
Yo, the shit was crazy, and I see, like one day, I watched a video recently, and it was like a homeless dude, and he was like acting like he was gonna touch the third rail, the one that shocks you, and the police is like they stopped the train. The train is literally like in the station, but it's like stopped, it's not moving, and the dude is on the tracks. He's like, I'm gonna touch it, I'm gonna touch it, and like the police is just there, like, come on, man, like the police is chilling, they don't
Oh,
care.
I think I seen this video.
And the people was like, yo, touch the fucking shit already. If you gonna
Yeah,
touch
they was
it.
telling if you gonna do it now. Like they
Yeah.
be they
Yo,
ain't
the shit
playing with
was,
you.
he was like, yo, just die so they could get the ambulance. They come get you and get you out. Yo, the shit was, yo, this shit, yo, it was another one. Yo, it was another one. They was wild. Yo, the dude spit on the dude. He was like, he said, yo, bro, people trying to get the fucking work, man. Like, get off the fuck, kill yourself on somebody else shift. Yo, they was going crazy, and the dude even spit on the dude. Like, yo, it was just like, wow, like it was just like, and I'm just,
It's
and
too.
and the dude is looking at him like, yo, bro, like you gonna do that, bro? He like, yeah, man, you fucking it up. Like, we got work. Yo, it was just like so crazy because it's like I could see it now. Like, you get to work late, and don't be a person that's always late. And then your boss be like, so what happened? And you like, somebody try to kill themselves on the, like, they might look at you like, they might.
Yeah, that's why I feel like if you're native to New, you have to visit other places. You have to, so that you can realize the type of environment you've been living in. You have to get out of that state, out of the
Yeah.
city, rather.
One night I was on the A train. This is the first time ever I was on a train that ran over somebody. Like somebody literally jumped on the tracks, and they pulled the emergency brake, right? Like, I don't know if I don't know if I don't think the body had enough pressure to do that. But like they pulled the way the train jerked, it was like mad crazy, like, and I was just like, and they don't know what the fuck going on. And then I'm like, we went, mind you, it's mad late. The trains just take forever. And then like we was on the like trains just stopped, like, and then we was there for like probably like 20 minutes, and then they told us, so like the last parts of the cart were like off the station, so they was like, yo, everybody gotta move forward. So as we walk forward, they had like one cart door open, and it was like everybody gotta get out. And then it was like somebody jumped on the tracks, like somebody was like under the train type shit. And I'm just like, shit, like, yo, but this is the shit you gotta when you gotta go through it. Like, I barely really take the train like that, but when I do take the train, I'll be like, yo, like this shit is like, and then it's like it's not even convenient to have a car sometimes, right? Depending on where you live, and then it's just like, but nah, I'm just
And that's
like that.
why I was surprised. Like I met a lot of women that had cars. And I'm like, this is New
Yeah,
York. Like y'all have cars?
Yeah,
I know that's
it
so
is.
naive of me to say, but like I really did not think y'all had
Yeah,
cars.
it seems like that's the thing now. Like the thing is like a lot of people have cars. Like they'd rather have a car than a place, and I don't blame them. Because it's like shit, like rent is mad expensive, and if it's like a lot of times people have either or. Like it's like you either got an apartment and you don't got a car, or you
Right.
got a car and you staying with family,
Yeah,
or
you staying
you
with
know what I'm saying.
family.
So a lot of people rather have a car than be on their in their own
It
place.
makes sense. It makes sense.
'Cause it's like I could maneuver, I could do whatever. Like I could, it's a cheaper expense. Um, that's kind of like when the protesters try to hold up the highway in the front. Oh yeah, the protesting should be crazy, holding up the highway. Um, that should be fun. I ain't gonna hold you. Blocking traffic on the highway. Yo,
Not it being fun.
nah, it'd be kind of cool. Like one day we was this one I know this protest. Like I've been knew protesters was bullshit, but I happened to get caught up in the middle of a protest one time,
Hmm.
and I was chilling with my lawyer Bay at the time. I had just came home too,
You and
and
all
then
these babes.
I was in Harlem. I was just chilling, and then I just hear like mad commotion. Like no, I thought I was bugging. I thought it was just like some regular street fight or some shit. Cause I just hear mad commotion. I look one way, I see people, and then I just see the multitude of people just walking in the middle of the street, like stopping traffic and shit, wilding, right? So I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, I think this is around the time Philando Castile. This is the day the Time magazine took a picture of me, right? So they did some sneaky shit too, because I didn't even notice. Like Shorty I was with, she was like, yo, I think that guy just took a picture of us. So I was just like, I ain't see no flash. I ain't see nothing. I was like, yeah, nah, you wilding. She was like, I'm telling you, I think he took a picture of it. Cause he did it on some sneak shit. And he tried to like, well, when I was staring at him, he just kind of like played it off, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, nah, he ain't take no picture. And I'm like, she was like, yo, I'm telling you, he took a picture. She kept telling me that shit. And then like the next morning, some shorty that I knew from back in the days, she told me like, yo, you in the news. I'm like, news? I'm thinking, what the hell? I'm wanted to say. So she was like, no, not the news like that. So she sent me like the screenshot and it was on Time magazine. I was like, well, that's crazy. So they were protesting in New York, and then it's so bullshit. It was so crazy because it was in the middle of like 125th Street in Harlem on Martin Luther King. I mean Malcolm X Boulevard, which it is Martin Luther King too. The intersection. And now the police was like, all right, I gotta leave now. This I know this should just be bullshit, right? Because it's like when the police tell you to leave, you gotta leave. If you don't leave, they're gonna lock your ass up. So what's this whole right to peaceful protest? You ain't really got it. So they in the middle of the road and then like just blocking shit. So police, all right, y'all had y'all fun. Go the fuck home now. So they in the middle of the street, not knowing where the fuck they gonna go, and then they talking about let's go to the bridge. And
That's what I was just about to ask you. Did they go to the bridge?
it's always led by like white people. Like it's always like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you. The toughest white motherfuckers I seen was like in Minnesota. When I went out there doing like the trial and shit, like nah, they really be with the shits over there. Them white folks over there, like they had guns and all that. Like like protesters with guns and shit. Like and I was just like, nah, they really on some asking for it. But yeah, they said during the pandemic, I remember they did this thing about they put a curfew out because this is around the time when they was looting. So when everybody started, I don't know if they was going crazy in your city, but I know in LA they was going crazy when they was
They was going
looting.
crazy. Not in
Yeah,
my
so
city, but in LA, they was going crazy.
so
I
in New
don't think they
York,
put it on a curfew though. They should have.
yeah, over here they put out a curfew 8 o'clock. They was like, yo, if we catch you on the streets after 8, we locking you up. Yo, it was crazy. They even stopped the trains. The trains like wouldn't go past like 96th Street. They wouldn't go into the city to the shopping areas. Yeah, it was crazy. And
Mm.
what they did was, so after the looting, after like the first 3 days or whatever of people breaking into stores, they was like they put the curfew out. It was like, yo, we catch you, we lock you up. So they my homegirl, she went out and she was out protesting and she said well they was trying to get on the train. Um yeah, similar to the Rodney King shit. They was trying to get on the train like right before 8, and she said they was on the bridge though. they always going to the bridge. That's what I said. The bridge is fun, man. Blocking traffic on the bridge, everybody be mad. Like Tiffany said, they be trying to hit people. Uh, so they was on the bridge, and what the police did, they was trying to like everybody was trying to leave to go get on the train before 8 o'clock, and she said the police blocked them off, like they was throwing like they was like doing the mace and the like some wild shit. They blocked them off only so it could turn to 8 o'clock, so they could lock everybody up. And she was like, "Yo, they had all of us," and she was mad afraid because she was like, "Yo, what if I got COVID? Like, I was locked up with a lot of people." I said, "You ain't think about that shit before you went up there." But but yeah, she's a hoe too, by the way. Talking about
Is
hoe.
she? Is she?
Yeah, but she used to tell me about a lot of her stories. She used to. I don't know why women be confiding in me. I mean, I do know because I'm a, what I'm saying. I don't be putting this shit out there like that.
Okay.
But she she kind of told me like she used to tell me her stories, and I used to try to give her advice like, like, you should, like, why do you do that? Like, I try to gauge the mind, like why you like
Right. Try to
why
have a
yeah, like
like get the bigger picture.
yeah, like I'm like, well, why you do that? Why you why you ain't get yo? She used to, man, I'm putting too much business out there. I'm just
I think like people just overshare
yeah, but she had a
fast
boyfriend.
and
At one
people
point, she had a
feel
boyfriend.
comfortable. Hmm.
You'd be surprised how many women. I mean, this is why it'd be hard for me to trust some girls, man. She had a boyfriend and all that, and she was getting crazy. And I was just like, and she was just like, I was like, you got a boyfriend? And they had a long time together, like some years, yo. Like they was almost like about to be like at 10 type shit. And I was just like, and she was just getting crazy, like land dudes nutting her. And I was just like, I've never judged her, and I guess that's probably why she felt like.
Yeah, she felt comfortable. You
But
just
I
let
used
her
to,
talk freely.
but in my mind, I used to be like, you don't feel no type of way.
Like, do you not have a conscience?
Like,
Jesus.
yo, like I be meeting these women, like they be married, and they just be
It's
like,
the
and I be like,
married and miserable. That's why, like, I don't listen to married women.
she said she must have overstepped the boundaries of a friendship. Yo, and I was like, they don't have no remorse. Like, and one thing I noticed, women are cold blooded, man. Like when they cheat, like
Yeah, they definitely can be. They can be. Yeah.
a guy will apologize. He'd be like, I'm sorry, baby, I'll never do it again, even though he'll do it again, right? But he'd be like, I'm sorry, baby, or whatever, whatever, whatever. But when a woman cheat, yo, she'll start talking about how it was your fault. You're the reason she did it. You like, and her homegirls will be there agreeing with her too. Like, y'all, that's his fault, right? I know it was something he wasn't giving you. Like, it's always like some justification for the shit. They'll be like, oh well, like, but I seen so many videos of women getting caught, and they'll be like, what are you doing here? Why are you stalking me? Why are you following me? Like, and it's
Yeah,
like,
like even on cheaters, like, what do you mean? You've been caught.
what do you like? Where's your remorse? Where's your?
Ain't none.
But like, but yeah, she was
Cheating
just
is
like,
just bad.
I don't know. But I just met so many of those women, and it's hard. It just be hard for me to trust them, man, because it just be like,
Why do a lot of men they
hmm?
say like, oh, I met so many women that do wrong like that. Like a lot of men be saying that, and I'm like,
Yeah, because it's like women put us on the game. Like I tell people this all the time. When I say shit, this shit don't come from me. This shit not coming from. This shit coming from women putting me on. Like, yeah, bro. And I be like, word. And I also talk to, I gauge a lot of women, and I ask them though. Like I always ask questions. I always be like, why you do this? And like, why you do that? And like, how come you move like this? And like, how do you feel about this? Like, do you really care? Like, do you really like, I be trying to gauge them. But women be putting me on. Like, they be like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just be like, damn, like, I just be like, yo, this shit is the shit they be telling me, it be crazy. And I just be like, I just be sitting there like, and then it's like, and then some of these girls will even go to the extent where like, then they be thinking like, now we could go somewhere. Like now we could be together. Like, why would you think that? You just told me like some dark shit. You just told me you cheated on your man. You let a few dudes nut in you. And you think for some reason, just because I was listening to you, you know what I'm saying? I was impartial. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think all of
Not
a sudden,
impartial.
you think all of a sudden I'm about to be like, you know what, you're a good woman, you deserve love. Nah, you got this boyfriend. My guy told me this story about this chick that's dating a billionaire. He was like, bro, she over here
Hmm.
cheating with me. She said, I don't make that. He said, I don't make that type of money. Cheating on her husband. She like, I'm about to divorce him, keep the penthouse, all this wild shit. And she was on some like, me and you could be together. He was like, He
Like,
said,
think it through. Goodness gracious.
he was telling her, do not be your husband. He's a good man. Don't leave that to you. Don't got to do nothing.
Right. You in his business leaving him.
But I'm like, bro, you foul too. You sleeping with her. Fuck is you talking about? He said, bro, that ain't my problem.
But it's also like she knew she was in a relationship though.
I
She
just
knew
be
what she was
scarred.
doing.
I just be scarred, man. I just be like,
Lord, all the men be saying this. All men be saying this. I'm over
yo,
that.
I mean, y'all be saying the same thing though.
I'm over that too.
Said listen to Tupac scandalous. Oh yeah, definitely. Khadija be coming through, man. She be coming through with the old school songs. She a young old head.
Young, old soul.
Yeah, but so what's the verdict? You think it's about circumstance?
I think it's just, yeah, it's a situation. I think they can be redeemed. I think they can
Do,
be
do,
redeemed. But I
do you
also
think
don't date women, so I don't know.
when you say redeem, do you think that there has to be like I know guys who say like I did a video with Nate and Nate said after 20 is a wrap.
After
So
20,
so do you look at it like in a spectrum like that, or you're just like it don't
like a
matter?
number.
Yeah, it don't matter what they did, like type shit. You'd be like they could anything goes.
I wouldn't say anything goes. It just depends on the situation. And the man, shoot. If the man wanna go ahead and stick beside her, then hey, just don't get mad when someone bring it up.
Yeah,
John Doe said, "How young would you let? You would let a dude mess with you?
as how young would you let a dude mess with you?
Nobody younger than 25. No.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, under 25 is too young. You too young.
Too young.
You too young. You too young. Like what? No. What is you chewing on?
I mean, carrot cake. Some.
That's my verdict. That's my. Did you have any other hot topics?
I know you was talking about the Well, this. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that it is situational. I do think that you got to really gauge how somebody is moving. Um,
Hmm.
I do think it's foul that some people not gonna find love.
And that's the reality of it, right? Like some of us, I say this all the time. Like some of us are just going to be single for life. Like Stop lying to us and be like, oh, you find somebody. Like some of us are just not gonna find anyone,
Yeah, I think that.
and that's gonna be the reality for some of us. Like, okay,
I mean, I do believe that there is somebody. I mean, I don't believe in soulmates, but I do believe that.
yeah, I don't believe this one.
I believe that everybody settles. Um,
Okay, okay, if you put it like that, yeah, they
I think
settle
that
because why?
because I think that like you might want like that's why like when a lot of women say I'm not settling, like I look at them like they dumb because it's like if you really look at what they're looking for, like most women want 5% of men. You're not gonna get that. 90% of women want 5% of men. You just a few of y'all might get lucky and get that right, but you gotta you're gonna have to bargain, right? This is what Kevin Samuels used to ask them. Why would a guy who 5% of men who make this amount of money, who all type of women are throwing themselves in, why would he pick you? He just wanted to like hear what they had to say, and they'll be like, because I got my own money, and it's like you're not gonna spend that shit on him anyway. He don't even give a fuck about that. So you got to come with something else. It can't be coochie. It can't just be money. It can't be your education. And they didn't have nothing else. A lot of them didn't have nothing else to say. If you notice, most of them women, they always said, I got a degree, I got a business, he said,
Yeah,
he'd be like, you just describe a man. 90% of the 98% of the women that went up there, they never said I'm feminine, I'm this, I'm nurturing, I'm like most of them was I got my own business, I got my like, and it's just like y'all don't get it. So what I was saying
you
is,
got carrot cake on your in your beard.
the big got to eat too. So what I so what I was saying is that like a lot of people are gonna settle, right? And I think about guys too, right? Why do you think a lot of guys be having some ugly ass baby mamas?
A lot
Not just,
of black men have been saying like, "Oh, I settled."
yeah.
It's a lot to unpack because they just be like beside their woman and be like, "Oh, I settled. This is the woman I settled for." Like,
Why do you think a lot of dudes
mm-mm.
got ugly ass baby mamas? Not because they wanted them. That's who. That's who allowed you to get some coochie. You know what I'm saying? That's not. You think if he had the option, he would have had the baddest baby mama on the block.
Or defense, they was offering clearly other things than how they look.
Nah, I don't be it.
Maybe they was offering something else. Like maybe she cool for real. Like
Nah, I'm talking
she
about.
cool enough to have my baby.
Nah, I'm talking about they be ugly and they be putting them through hell. They don't even be cool, nice, sweet, feminine. Nah, they be
And you
ugly.
be like, oh, I see how he got with her. She not
Yeah,
someone I
like
find attractive, but like she
you know,
cool.
like you could see that, right? You could see a woman and you could be like she ugly, but I see why he got with her.
That's the angle that I'm coming from. Cause like there's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
men like I'm like not saying I'm all that, but she ain't all that. But then like once I talk to their girl, I'm like, oh okay, I can see it.
yeah, yeah. I'm talking about they be ugly and putting them through hell.
And that's what your ass get over there chasing cat. That's what you get.
They're like, how you putting me through hell twice? That's fucked up.
Not twice. You did it to yourself. If we being real.
But but that's the thing, right? You get a lot of women who say I'm not settling, and they got their dumbass friends like, yeah, girl, don't settle.
But I do think like people need to always realize that there is a risk that you take when you are embarking on that love journey, finding love, letting love come to you, however, whatever you believe in, there is a risk that you take. Nothing is guaranteed. So if you settle and you gonna regret it, you over here laughing. What he say?
No, no, I'm listening to you.
Bye.
Look, Khadija said reeks of desperation. That's a fact. A lot of people be desperate.
What? When they settle
You know what I'm saying? Like, because the dudes impregnating ugly baby moms and shit.
and don't have no self control, like
But look, uh, chicks be chicks be trapping guys too. Like that shit work both ways.
I think like women don't know the difference between settling and having standards. I think like a lot of times, I know you said you disagree with me, and you was like, I think women have standards. I don't think women have standards, and I think they just go with whoever gives them attention. They go with it, and then it don't work out, and then they be like, I'm never gonna settle. I think that's where that stems from. Like, I'm not settling. It's because you didn't have no standards to begin with. Just say you are establishing some standards and some rules.
So boom, what brings me to I'm glad you brought that up because there do be a lot of hurt and trauma and shit. Remember I told you I made the fake profile on the dating site?
Mm-hmm.
So boom. So on the dating site, I was looking for guys, and then I switched it
Mm-hmm.
up. I put I'm looking for guys and girls, right? So boom. So some
I
girls,
remember this story.
some girls started matching with me. So I started talking to these girls. So I'm over here playing like I'm a girl, like I'm like girls. We talking. So this one girl, she said some shit about I'm tired of these niggas, like So she complaining this shit. So I'm there like, girl. And I'm just talking this shit, right? But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but I love me. I love me. I was like, yeah, but she was asking me like, you bi or you just like, are you straight gay or you bi? I'm like, I love me some dick, girl. I can't just go strictly coochie, like what I'm saying. So I'm over there, I'm still over there, like jazzing this shit up, right? So I'm laughing this shit. So she like, I hear you, girl, I hear you, but these niggas be like, oh my god, like they just too much. Like she said, so I'm just starting to like, I always thought women were beautiful, but like, I'm just whatever. She telling me her little story. So, but then she was just going crazy. Like at some point, she just like on some misandrous shit. I hate these niggas though. They're going crazy, right? And then I'm just like, damn, but why you just, why you so like, boom, long behold, she said she just got out of a relationship, a 6-year relationship with a motherfucker that she was taking care of. She was supporting him. She said, man, this motherfucker cost me so much money. And I'm just like, you was in a relationship for 6 years with a motherfucker that didn't do nothing for you.
At
And you
all.
and you was spending money on him. And now
Right.
you're mad and you're leading
That
a
you wasted
woman.
all that time.
Yeah, you leading a woman crusade. So when you said that, I just thought about that, right? And it's true because when sisters go through certain things, it's like the women that try to support men. They'll try to support that one dude, right? Try to help him get on his feet, and he takes it for granted. He drags her through the mud, uses her car, bag other shorties, and then he just put her through the ringer. But this, what's so crazy? The crazy thing is, why the fuck would you stay 6 years in some shit like that?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like now you bitter for the rest of your life. Now you angry at every man because your dumb ass stayed in that situation for so long. If you would have been like on some the first time he did some wild shit or the second time you would have got up out of there and dipped because there's no way you're not about to sit here and tell me that he started doing all of this shit in the last year. Hell no.
No, most often, like men are pretty much the same. They pretty much are the same.
Yeah, so I was like, so she's sitting there telling me like, man, this bum ass nigga, and I'm just like, damn. But this be happening to a lot of women. A lot of women they get into these crazy situations and it's like, which I think is fucked up because it's like then they just be so angry and they never get over it that they be to the point.
Never,
And it
because they
happens.
wallowed in it for so long, and
Yep.
then they want everybody else to come to their rescue. And it's like, no,
And it happens
you
at a young
need to take
age.
accountability.
And
Mm-mm.
especially like it scars you, right? It happens at a young age. You never recover. A lot of them never go to therapy. They never get whatever help they might need. And then they just be like, it's just so fucked up because it's like when that good guy do come into their life, they just be so traumatized that they'll start a situation. Like they'll create a problem because they're used to like that problem dynamic. I was dealing with this woman one time. I remember like, yo, everything was sweet. Like we didn't really we got along just fine. We joked. Like she was a jokester. Like everything was cool. Like she had a she had a good profession. She was a nurse. But she wasn't bougie. Like she was bougie. She was like what she used to say. She said, "I'm clatchet."
She had her things.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm clatchet. I'm classy ratchet." So yeah, she was like down to earth. Like she wasn't like no stuck up broad. Like you know what I'm saying. Like she made good money and she still was like on some like I don't really care about material shit and I don't move a certain way. So I love that about her. You know what I'm saying. But she had that one thing and it was just like, yo, we got into an argument over some stupid shit or Twinkie. Yo, this shit was like the dumbest shit. Like even when I think about that shit to this day, I'll be like, that shit was the dumbest shit ever. Like we got into a stupid ass argument, and the first thing that she gonna say after the argument, she was like, "This shit was too good to be true anyway." I was like,
Girl, bye. But I do
but
think like our people be so addicted to like arguing, the conflict, and like they be searching for it. Like, oh, if I don't start this conflict and if he don't argue with me back, then he don't love me. Like just creating stuff. Like, just be
yeah,
cool.
and that's kind of like what happened when she said that to me though. It let me know that like she was. It's almost like she was anticipating bad.
She was waiting
Yeah,
on you to mess up so that
yeah.
she could bounce.
So I was like, damn. But like, it's so many people, and it's so sad because it's so many men and women, right? It's so many men who most of the women they've been with, they don't board into the narrative of dysfunctional black women, right? Like they don't board into like that's just how they are, bro. That's just what they're gonna do. Of course, it's truth to that, but it's a reason for it, right? But they just board into like this is how love is supposed to look, right? It's gonna be toxic. Yeah, y'all gonna fight. Like when I be hearing some stories, like yeah, my baby mom stabbed me a few times. Like I'll be like, bruh, like yeah, she called the cops. So, like what the
Yeah, or like she got a new man. Him and the new man was fighting outside the crib. Like, I don't have the capacity for all of that.
I be like,
And I think that's why God ain't allowed me to be no baby mama. Because when I tell you I would drop my baby off so fast, he going, where with you? Cool. Bag is already packed. Call me if you need anything. Little Tim Tim is allergic to peanuts. Don't forget. Like, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna be arguing with you.
yo, you see the video of the shorty, the chick, she
Mm.
dropped the baby, she dropped the baby off at the father house. She rung the bell. Look, she put the baby. It was like the little seat, the little
Oh,
car
I
seat.
seen it. And she ran. And you can hear her talking about the baby daddy as she going back to her car.
She said, "This
And the
motherfucker."
baby's just standing there
She
like,
like, she like, shit. This motherfucker thought you gonna. She was over there mumbling some shit, walking back to the car, and then she waited. She waited till
I
he
ain't
came.
gonna be like that. I ain't gonna be like that. I'm gonna hold my little baby hand. Like, I ain't gonna do all that.
Yo, but I be thinking about that shit, right? And I be thinking like, why more women don't do shit like that?
That's why I literally was just telling somebody today, I'm like, I think that's why God didn't make me no baby mama. Because when I tell you the bag is packed, what time you gotta be there? Okay, because I got things to do.
Yo, but yeah, that should be fucked up. But like, yo, it was kind of funny though, cause she rung the bell and she wait. At least she waited in the car though. She ain't just drive off. She wait.
No, but it's the fact that she waited in the car. Like, if you don't be with the baby, I don't know. I'm scary because I'm thinking like somebody around the corner and then they snatch the baby, take the bag. Like, I think of the weirdest things. Like,
Yo,
if you don't be with the baby and hand off, maybe she don't have self control. Maybe
nah,
they still,
but think about
maybe
it.
they
Think about it.
still cracking.
But think about it. If she would have had the baby with her, the dude could have just closed the door. Get what I'm saying? So, with
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. In that sense, it like forces him to take his kid.
yeah, so the way she did it was like she put the baby on the stool, rung the bell, she sat in the car, she
It's
sat
the
in the
fact that
car.
she was talking about him on her way back to the car.
Yo, she dead sat in the car. As soon as he opened the door, he said, "Yo, what you doing, man? Stop playing." She was like, "I ain't playing. That's your kid." And then she didn't even bring no Pampers over there, nothing. She was like, "Where the clothes at?" She was like,
Yeah,
"Figure
nah, I
it out."
ain't gonna leave my baby like that.
Yo, the shit was crazy though. But
I'm just not gonna beg nobody to be a father. Like, you say you
I,
want him today, okay?
I mean, man, you good at this, man. You be a good baby mom.
That's why I ain't one. Cause I'm not arguing. I'm just not arguing. I just feel like it's at this point, it's about the child and the well being of the child. If you got time, it's really gonna fall on you. You want the baby. You want to be a weekend dad? Okay. You want to get the baby after school? Okay. But if I get a call and you ain't pick up Tim Tim, your
Yeah,
privileges
I
is
think
revoked. Like we not doing all this. We not arguing in front of the baby. Okay, you want to yell at me? Send me a voice note, and I'll let you know when I get to it. Like I'm not. I'm just. I don't have the energy for all that.
yeah, I think it's sad, man. But like, yeah, and I think like even like something I was learning, right? It was about which I'm gonna be doing on my review, the laws of human nature. It was just talking about how how your attitude and your traits is like hereditary and also upbringing. That's why I said like that whole shit be hereditary sometimes, right? And upbringing. But also it was talking about how you're raised as a child determines like your behaviors in adolescence. So they was talking about how like children who are neglected, right? Um, and women and men have like different behaviors when they get to adolescence. So they were saying one of the things that women do is like they'll become promiscuous. Like if they have like if they're dealing with like abandonment issues from an early childhood, what they do is like he said they tend to be like very promiscuous in their teenage years. Um, right. And it was saying like guys tend to like act out more, but acting out for women is like sexual most of the time, sleeping around and just wilding. And acting out for guys is usually like I'm gonna go join the gang or I'm gonna just start robbing people or do some other shit, right? So it was very interesting how like you could be raised similar, but depending on gender, it's like you're gonna do different things, right? It's almost like the escape for women is like I'm gonna go sleep around, and that's what I was saying about those girls, right? That shit is from childhood, so it's like
Hmm.
even if you might want to forgive some of these, um, even if you might want to forgive some of these women, right? It's like did you get rid of that shit?
Yeah, because there's some things that like it's like the infamous book, The Body Keeps the Score. Like the
Mhm,
body
mhm. I got that
literally
book too.
keeps it
Yeah,
within it, and it's like it's really hard to shake it off. So I mean,
yeah. So I think it's very like I wonder if they got some type of therapy for that. Um, but like yeah, like it's tough. It's tough to another thing I was connecting, right? It's hard for women, like prostitutes, sex workers, promiscuous women, and who else? It's prostitutes, sex workers, and promiscuous women, right? And porn stars. They all got like similarities. That it's hard for them to date. It's hard for them to find love, right? And it's like the ability to peer bond is like there's a study actually too that was saying that like once a woman gets to like five bodies or more, it's like it's harder for her to kind of like build this kind of like rapport. Um,
yeah, because they're able to disconnect because they had to.
yeah, and it's tough, and I feel like yeah, it should be fucked up, man. And it's sad because it's like a lot of guys really be on that shit, like that don't turn the whole to a housewives thing. Or like, but like I said, like a lot of times guys make these women hoes. Um, like it just be fucked up, man, because it just be like, you don't want to be with the monsters you create. Right?
Yeah, you rather dog them out and then go somewhere else. It's
Yeah, it's like,
really that's why I said like the finger pointing thing really gets us nowhere because everybody got demons and everybody doing things that's not right.
yeah. So it's tough. Um, so I be trying to tell. I be like I was on Clubhouse one time and I was telling dudes like, 'cause we talking about the baby mama stuff,
Hmm.
and dudes always acting like they for the community and they want to help out and all of this shit, and I'm
You
just
better
like,
preach it. You better preach it. I feel
I'm
like you
like,
about to preach it.
I just be like, yo, you can't say you're about community and then you be out here dogging baby mothers. Like
Exactly.
the reality is some men are going to have to date those women and be stepdaddies, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm like, it's so crazy how y'all talk mad shit about these women. But I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all wish y'all had a man step up and play stepdaddy to y'all when y'all was growing up, right? And it's crazy that you have like these sentiments today, but at the same time, like I know you was yearning for like some type of male guidance when you was growing up. That's probably why you fucked up.
Yeah. And then when you and this how I know they don't talk to like men who have like a stepfather who like is basically their dad. Like they will tell you like that's my dad. Like technically that's my stepdad, but that's my dad. And then when they tell him like, oh no, I appreciate that man, da da da, and then they be like, but still I won't be with a baby mama. Like,
Yeah, like
okay, you being
it's like
stupid. And like you said, to your point, because I was just on another live and the dude, this kind of ain't got nothing to do with it, but it do at the same time. He was trying to blame black women for like the image of black men and like how black men are perceived and da da da. And I'm just like, it's so easy to blame black women, but it's like, no, that's on you. That's on you. We don't have no
yeah,
control. Not over that.
yeah. I think that both things are true, right? I think that like I think that both parties have like um yeah, I think there's like this hatred.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now you're starting to see that hatred reciprocated from men to women. That like you haven't seen it before, right? I think that like women been hating their black man for like the last few years. Um, and I feel like men are finally right now like starting to be like, you want to be a man, and you're starting to
Yeah.
you
And being
starting to
real vocal, like,
you
well,
know
you ain't doing this, that. And then
not even not even just
black men
that.
love to bring up the stats without context and then be like,
Yeah,
well, y'all all got babies.
not even that. You're also seeing more cases of men shooting women, right? There's a spike in that. Um, there's also a spike in women going to jail, black women going to jail for violent crimes, right? So there's a
Mm-hmm.
spike in the masculinity that these women are exhibiting to the point where they're committing violent crimes, right? Like we're not talking about just holding the drugs for your boyfriend. Like they out here like wilding, like cutting girls, stabbing girl men, like they just doing wild shit, right? Um, and you're also seeing a spike in men who have no composure, right? Or men who are treating some of these women like you're a nigga, like so it's just like it's getting crazy, right? And I think that like a lot of men are fed up, like they really like they've been quiet for a long time while women was just like running their mouth. But also women for a long time they've been asking like, oh, let us know how you feel. Tell us. And
Right.
then now guys are like they get these podcasts, they get these stats, they get in these like they really quantify this shit to the point where it's like, well, this is what the stats say. And it's like, and not only that, it's also like now we you starting to see like the aggression from some of these men towards some of these women. And it's like even sometimes I be taken aback because sometimes I be trying to tell dudes like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, bro, like that's a woman, bro. Like you like what's wrong with you? Like one time I was out. And this dude really was like, he was really arguing with this chick like she was a dude. And it wasn't even like no serious thing. It wasn't like she, it wasn't like I only get like that with women when they try to threaten me. Like one time, this chick tried to tell me like she was, she said something about her brothers, and I was just like, I, that's all I mess with girls that got a lot of brothers because they be starting shit.
Goodbye.
She got like
Goodbye.
8 brothers or some wild crazy shit. Um, and she said some shit about like my brothers is blood, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like,
Irritating. Just
who
irritating.
who I am. You know what I used to do to Bloods back in my day. Yo,
Not back in my day.
she almost got me out of my shell, and then my man's was there, and my man's also
Hmm.
he used to be Crip too. So I was like, yo, she don't know about us. So my man's like, yo, chill, bro. So we laughing or whatever. He like, yo, bro, you talking too much, chill. So I'm like, bro, she really you never told her about us. So I'm laughing or whatever. And then long story short, she said some shit about my brothers shoot shit up. Like, and I'm just like, what you trying to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, so yeah, it just, I didn't really get too crazy with her. I didn't, but I was just like, we'll kill your brother. And then like that shit got into something. Then she tried to play victim.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Yeah, it gets crazy. And that's why I said I think women need to take more accountability for their actions and read the room and actually think about, okay, if I take it to this level, how far can this go? Am I willing to deal with the consequences of how far this can go? And they don't think that far. They living for today,
Yeah. And a lot of
not for
times,
tomorrow.
and like I said to you, right, about the whole dressing thing and you being my wife, a lot of times these chicks, they start shit or they put themselves in situations and then they call their
Right.
brother, they call daddy, they call their boyfriend, and then it's like a lot of, and they always leave shit out. It's always somebody slap me, but then this, and I tell
Oh,
dudes
it's
this,
like it's never like what did you say to that man? It's
and
never
I
none of
tell
that.
dudes that all the time. I tell dudes, see, because this is right now they got this whole rhetoric of femicide, this whole bullshit talking about every hour, every 5 hours, a black woman is killed. Like they got like this whole bullshit ass stat, right?
Yeah,
And
and that ain't even real.
it's not, but it's part of propaganda, right? And then when you really bring up the real numbers, I said, do you know? Like, and this is what I say. Like, people don't want no real conversation. They don't want no real solutions. They don't really want to unpack shit because it's like when I tell women, I'm like, you're really not oppressed. Like, you 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 have way more advantages than men have, right? Like you literally could get pregnant today, and if you don't want it, you could drop the baby off out of the church. Like you got so many outlets, right? Before that, you could take a plan B, you could get an abortion for free. Even if you go through with it, you can drop the baby somewhere at a firehouse, at a fucking. You can absolve yourself of that responsibility. A man can't do that. A man could be liable. It's just like if a man don't want the child, it's like, oh well, you should never did it. Child support, like all type of shit, right? And it's just but then you want to talk about unfair treatment, right? And then it's like when you really unpack it, when you really start talking about it, like it's like, and I say this all the time, like it's like, but they don't want to hear this. It's like, men lead in homelessness, right? Men lead in suicide rates, men lead in unemployment, men lead in being victims of crime, right? Violent crime. Men lead in homicide, I mean, and victims of homicide, right? They just lead. They lead in mass incarceration. They lead in more police, like victims of police violence. Like they just lead in so many categories, but it's like we don't look at it because, and I tell the brothers like we've been so tricked to think that our women is like this low down like damsel in distress, but they have way more support than the brothers have. They like, and it's by design that it's that way, right? But it's like we run with the narrative so much so that we neglect ourselves. We neglect our own mental health. We neglect the fact that we need this type of support. But why we don't get it? Because the moment we try to advocate for some of these things, oh, you bitching, you complaining, you whining, you this. So we buy into this whole shit. And it's like, and I'll be telling brothers like, yo, bro, like it's a setup. They setting us up. And I just think it's fucked up. But yeah, but when you really unpack that, it's just like, yo, men just don't complain. Why? Because the moment I start in one room, I started saying this on Clubhouse, right? I said, how is it that you're so oppressed? But men lead in way more categories of disenfranchisement than you. And then it's like all they could really talk about is domestic violence, rape, and wage gap. And it's not really a wage gap. It's just you work the jobs that you pick don't pay that much. Everybody knows human service don't pay that. HR, everybody knows that. How many of you women are going into STEM? You know what I'm saying? Like, the highest earning women are white women and Asian women. And if you look at the job positionings that they're in, a lot of them are doing like accounting, business, nursing. Like, how many black women are going into those fields? Engineering. Let's be real. Let's be real. So you think you're gonna get that type of money? Human service, working at the welfare office? Hell, the fuck no. They don't care about you. Social work, like you do regular shit, right? Um, not saying we don't need social workers, but we know that the country does not prioritize paying the people and the jobs that you'll get. The counselors, the case manager, they don't give a fuck about that shit. Nowadays, even if you to do something with psychology, you need a PhD. Them motherfuckers is like, so it's just bullshit. And I just think that like they fanning the flames, and it's sad because it's like people just a lot of people not gonna see through it, right? Like a lot of people is just gonna keep, and it's only gonna get worse. I think like you're only gonna see more crimes. You're only gonna see more of these women trying to confront men. I don't know because they saying they're in a soft era right now, but yeah, I think it's gonna get bad. Um, and it's only gonna get worse, and like people gonna start getting laid off, and it's really gonna get
They
bad.
getting laid off right now. Like it's really it's so much more that we should be focusing on because people ain't gonna make it. People are not gonna
Yeah,
make it.
and that shit is sad because it's like we're not even together right now. Like I be telling
Right.
people,
We
I be
need
telling
each
people,
other to survive. Like,
I be telling people, yo, the day of tomorrow, and this is the saddest thing, right? Because it's like, yo, I went to Michigan, I went to your state, and I went to Michigan when like 2 years ago, when the whole
mm-hmm,
matter of fact, no, right around the time when the whole people went to the Capitol, that probably was like 2 years, like 3 years ago.
mm-hmm.
No,
Was
not the
it
Capitol.
January 6th?
When they went to the City Hall in Michigan, when they were trying to lock them down, and all them people went out there.
Oh, that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When
I thought
everybody
you was
went,
talking about Capitol Hill.
when everybody went out there with their guns and shit, and it was like we ain't locking in type shit. Like you ain't locking us in the house, right? And they did all that wild shit.
Mm-hmm. They did
Um,
the most.
so I was out there, yo. Them people out there were really getting ready for war. Like they really have like bunkers. They
Mm-hmm.
storing canned goods. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
training, and I'm just like, not only in Michigan, they're doing this shit in a lot of places, and I'm just like, yo, we be talking that shit, but we don't go to the gun range. We don't take our kids hunting. I watch videos of little kids, 4 years old. They know how to break
Oh,
down guns.
they popping it. They doing it.
They know how to break down guns, and I'm just like, and
And
then that,
here we are concerned about our loins, about what we ain't getting. Meanwhile, people is preparing to take over.
and
It's
I
a
be
whole
like,
new dynasty.
and I be like, yo, like y'all not paying attention. Like
At
they said about
all.
twenty
Because they
fifty black.
too busy worried about the wrong things. That's why I was like, certain conversations I'm just not gonna have no more.
Yeah, I seen. I was surprised you even got involved in that FBA stuff.
Yeah, and I usually don't. Like I usually just am not. I'm like,
And what
that's
was
other
that
things
about?
I need to be
You
worried
you saying
about.
they the real girls and shit. They the real divas or some shit.
What do you mean about FBA and
Yeah,
ADOS?
that was what your thing said. They the real divas.
No, that's not what it said.
Instead, they the real girls or something.
No, it said coons. I don't know where you said they ain't the real girls. I don't know where you got that.
I'm telling you, man.
I think it was about the topic that we talking about, like in the title, like
Yeah,
Alexis
but
Sky. The
but
person gave examples. Alexis Sky. They said Brittany Renner. Like they
no,
was
I
talking
know,
about.
but when it came to the FBA shit, it was saying something about them to that extent. Like I'm glad you were saying something about I'm glad this happened because we got to see who were the
Okay,
real
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, that part. So I was saying I thought it was necessary for it to form. I'm not claiming neither side because the reason why is because a lot of times they just be spreading misinformation and their citation is like a TikTok. Like if you ask them for it, or it's like a blog, they don't read no literature. It's just, and then I was an Indian. Like it just be real spotty. The information be real spotty and it's not conducive as a whole. And they think they filling in the blanks when those blanks have already been filled if you just read, right?
Yeah,
And so I was just saying, I think the formation of them, even though from my understanding, ADOS derived from FBA, whatever, they broke off. I
they
think the
broke off.
formation, no,
I
it
thought
used
it
to
was
just
the same
be
shit.
FBA and that was it. And
I thought it
then
was the same shit.
ADOS kind of formed, and then Secure the Tribe formed, and then like, okay, now we're going down the whole rabbit hole. Like it's like
I thought they was all the same shit.
basically they saying the same thing. Basically they saying the same thing.
But you saying they two
But
separate groups?
FBA FBA was first, yeah.
Mm.
FBA was first, and then it just everybody breaking off. But I think it was necessary for them to form, is what I'm saying. But outside of that, it's all misinformation. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's a terrorist group." I don't think it's a terrorist group.
Yeah, I don't even think all of this shit would not be necessary if people were not looking at black like some global shit, right?
Hmm
It would never been no need for that, but
And that's
because
what I touched on too, because like remember, like we not that far removed to like when we used to black used to mean like you know who we were talking about when we said black.
yeah, yeah, Africans wasn't going around talking about I'm black, and this
They
and this
weren't. And so now for them to like adopt it and then kind of like, and that's where I mean like it's necessary for like the break off. Cause now for you to claim it and then kind of demand shit is like, whoa, no,
yeah, and
you're doing too much.
I think it's bullshit, right? But this would be my thing. I think black people just want to be black people. They be pissing me the fuck off, right? Because they will go so hard, right? You don't hear African people talking about like, yeah, we black. They don't. You don't hear them going hard, talking about, Sudan used to be called like it's black people that do that, right? It's like black people that want,
A sense of belonging.
yeah, they want to include
Yeah,
everybody. And I made a video about this, and I'm like, y'all mad dumb. Like y'all don't even realize they trying to erase you. They're trying to erase
exactly.
your history. They're trying to erase what you went through. They're trying to erase your lineage. They just trying to erase you, and you don't even realize this. This was the whole reason for them making black a global thing, right? But
Right.
when you read Thomas Jefferson books, right, and that's why I can't debate with people that don't read, right? Because it's
That
like,
preach. I said this on somebody else's live. I'm like, nah, because like you gotta be at a certain point in your knowledge. It's not no, oh, well, some people like that. You're gone. Get with the program or get
I be
lost.
asking,
Like,
yo, this I'll be getting them. I'll be like, what year this happened? People like running around with the Moors, right? The Moor was here. The Moors were here, and we are Moors, and we. So I'll be like this. I'll be like, what year? Like one time. This I'll be catching them all the fucking time. Like
I noticed they don't go past a certain year. Like they only go back so far.
they don't even be having the years. I asked these people, right?
They don't know.
These dudes was like the Moors. The Moors ruled Spain. I mean, no, they said the Moors ruled Europe. So I will ask them, I'll be like, okay, what year was this? Right? I'll ask them because I'm
Mhm.
I'm familiar with years. So I would say, what year
Maybe
was
some
this?
people aren't. Mhm.
And I'll be like, so what year was this? And then they'll be like, oh, that will be this year. And I'll be like, well, that's false, right? Um, and then I'll be like, the Moors never ruled the whole Spain, right? Now, yes, they were descend. I said, first of all, then somebody tried to tell me Moor meant black. I said, black in what language? I even had a dude tell me more, Moreno. I said, bro,
And
I said,
this is like when it just gets like I can't make this up. Like the jokes write themselves at this point. And it's just like, what is happening? That's what I mean.
because they
Like
think
they
you
just be
stupid.
saying stuff. Or, ooh, these are my favorite people. So, the English language, like what dictionary are we using? Are we Webster, nigga? Webster.
That was like your man on the Vicky Land live.
Like, what are you even saying? Like what? And I think sometimes we need to talk less, really take in what people are saying, digest it, and then form an opinion. Like people just be saying stuff.
No, 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 no. People don't need to have an opinion. Like, if you don't
Or
know,
that. That's what
look,
I do. I'm like most of the time when people see me online, like I'm quiet because I'm really trying to take it in. Sometimes I don't have an opinion. Sometimes I will tell you, I didn't really think anything of this,
yeah,
or oh, I didn't think that hard about it, and then it's like a whole thing with everyone else. Well, I thought that no, you didn't think that. When you originally saw it, you didn't think all that.
yeah. And I think that's the problem. Like like we really stupid.
Yes,
Like
and that's why I be embarrassed as a Black American woman. I be embarrassed,
that,
embarrassed, because you just saying shit at this point.
and it's like it just shows how stupid we are, right? Like we show how stupid we are all the time, cutting down the trees, knowing that we need the trees to breathe. Like we just constantly humans, like we constantly do stupid shit, right? That goes against like our survival and our livelihood, right? And then it's like, even with this, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. No, they're not. Like only
Wait,
it used to be
explain, explain that.
meaning that we should only care about facts, right? Um, and if we only care about facts, if we only went about what happened, right, and what can be proven and quantified in whatever, right, and research and all of those things, then that means that we only should be listening to the opinions of the learned, right, of the scholars, of the people who actually done the research. This don't mean academia, this don't mean, but this means that a person can tell you where to go get something. A
Yeah,
person read,
or a
a
person
per-
that's been through some shit that knows.
yeah, a person read something. So this is the thing. Opinions, you could talk about your opinion when it comes to what type of woman you like to date, fat girls or skinny girls. Okay, you could talk about your opinion on that, right? That's not some shit that it's like you can't just go around and say fat girls make better girlfriends than slim ones. No, in this case, yes, y'all can discuss your opinions. You could say why you feel this way. That's one thing. But people take conversations like that and they try to apply the shit to everything. When it comes to knowledge, information, mathematics, science, you can't just, we don't give a fuck about your opinion. Who are you? What's you like? What book did you read? Like, where can I find this information? Like we don't give a fuck. And I think people need to go back to that, but we don't because we're in the era of podcasts. We're in the era of anybody can talk, anybody can have a mic, anybody can say anything, anybody can spread misinformation. Everybody is growing their pages and their channels like crazy. They having a lot of crazy influence. So like now they're
And they
voice.
just saying whatever.
Yeah. So and it's crazy because it's like when I talk to some black folks, like, and I be like and I'll be like, see, this is the problem. You don't study global history. It's almost like y'all skipped that class in school. right? Global history. When you learn about global history, it's gonna tell you about different periods, like because everything comes back together, right? Like even a lot of people don't know 20% of the people that were here were Muslim, right? Right. But a lot of times they don't know that. Why? Because they don't know shit about West Africa. They don't know about the Manding Empire. They don't know about who King Abu Bakr was. They don't know how Africans was here before the Europeans. They don't know a lot of shit. Like I had somebody black argue me down talking about we all came from slavery, and I'm just like, that's not true. Like that is so far from the truth, that the fact that you just been so brainwashed that it's like you trying to fight me, and I'm trying to tell you like there's evidence that shows what's good, Brody. There's evidence that shows that African people were here. Columbus said it in his voyage.
Yeah.
He said in his voyage that he's seen black people with spears that had gold tips. That's from West Africa, right? Like even the corn crops. That's some African shit, right? Like it's a lot of things that point the Olmec statues, right? Like it's a lot of things that point to Africans already being here, right? Which is kind of like part of my history, right? Like Africans were already here, but even in my history, they try to set it like it was a shipwreck, a slave shipwreck, and
Yeah, and
and
then
it,
that's just where it landed, and
yeah,
et
and it's
cetera, et
just like,
cetera. That's
bro,
why
like
I don't get mad or like try to argue certain people down who are like, no, like I was here already. Because there's some people that were here already, but like most of the time, the ones that we are speaking to, you wasn't here already. But
yeah,
okay,
they don't know shit, and it's like, and then when they get into the, and then one like your boy, what's his name, Bakari, whatever his name,
who was
not
Bakari? Oh, the
Bakari,
dancer.
no, the dude, the dude, that,
Ah, be easy, be easy now,
yeah, like when he
be
started talking about,
easy.
like when he started talking about Christianity, and like when people call
I don't even
Christianity,
think he know we seen this video.
salute, like yeah, like when he was talking about like Christianity being a white religion, it's like
Used to enslave his ancestors. That's
I'm
what he
like
said.
I'm like, do you not know of the origins of Christianity,
Christianity,
right?
no.
Right, like because it's like if you did know, then you know that it's just like the Semitic people. The Semitic people are Afro-Asiatic people. They're melanated folks. Whether you want to get into the whole the Asian people are white, and you want to,
Yeah,
because
the whole nine.
this is what they try to do, right? They try to get into the they white too and the black. They got some type of pigmentation in their skin. They're not fucking pale, right? Like they got distinctive features. Like you're not about to sit here and try to say they're white too, right? Like they got distinctive features. Like let's be real, right? So and then it's like, and they're able to be in the sun. Like the motherfuckers be living in desert areas and all of this other shit, right? So it's like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the point is like history is like it's very vast, and it's like even when he said that, it just shows that you don't have no understanding. Like when you look at most of the places in the Bible, that's in Africa, in the melanated region. A lot of the stories is in Egypt, is in Jerusalem is really a part of Africa, right? Like it's like because all that shit is like right, like it was all jammed up, right? So
Oh
even
yeah, all together.
when you look at that, it's like, bro, all of these stories, these people were walking in a melanated area, melanated region, right? Even when you hear how the description of Jesus, a black man, right?
Hmm.
Or a melanated man, right? If that's what we want to go with. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, white man religion?
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't tell. Now, I will agree. I don't know how the seat of power became Europe, right? I don't know how, like, but that was because the Roman Empire converted to Christianity, and then once that happened, it was just like a whole bunch of other shit. But
Hmm.
when you don't talk to, like, for example, when I tell people like the Moors did not rule Europe, Muslims did, right? Muslims wasn't on some you black, I'm Asian. No, it was a whole bunch of people from
Hmm.
different races, ethnic groups. It was people that was Persian. There was
But they was
Arabs.
all Muslim.
There was all type of different people, right? That were mixed in. And so even when we talk about slavery, um, and I'll be like, why we never talk about the white slaves? Like when they start talking about like the Muslims and enslaving black people, I'll be like, Muslims enslaved all type of people. Why we
Yeah,
don't talk about
everybody.
why we don't talk about the white slaves that they had in that region of Albania, Hungary, and like the Ottoman Turks? Why we don't talk about that? Like y'all always try to play this victim shit. Like you was the only group of people that got enslaved, and it's like,
It's because
and
they
this,
was the only ones that they know, the only slaves that they know.
yeah, and it's like it- a lot of other people are not making a big deal about it because they know that's just how the world was, right? Like it was
Everyone has slaves at some point.
everything was about conquer. Like on some real shit,
Yeah,
everything was like, yo, if you got some shit over there,
that I won't. I'm gonna go
yeah,
get it.
I'm gonna go over there and take it. And
And
what happened?
then, and that's just like, I don't know, even, okay, let's say you don't read. Like, even when you watch certain things, like, okay, a lot of black people, I don't know why, but they're like into Greek mythology. Okay, even if you watch something like Troy, for example, okay, they won the war. Guess what happened to those people? They become prisoners and then they are slaves
Yeah,
to the
they
people that
sold.
conquered them.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like, it's not necessarily a new concept. Everybody acting like it was just a new concept and then coming to America, like
yeah,
slavery
it's not.
already being had.
But they don't really understand it. Thomas Jefferson said in his book, he said, because leave it to them, they think they was enslaved because they was black. Thomas Jefferson said in his book, he said,
I didn't read it.
he said, this is on the notes on the state of Virginia. Um, I bought the book too. It's an extensive book, but and this is the crazy thing. A lot of the shit these motherfuckers thought about people, they wrote it in a book.
hmm They wrote it.
like,
Everything.
like it's literally in a book. Like, and it's like, yo, the books is right there. But anyway, he wrote in a book. He said that when they asked him about the indigenous people, the black people, and the whites, like in the New World, because he was like one of like their notable philosophers back then. But one thing I will say about Thomas Jefferson is that he didn't think his ideas were absolute. Like he would say what he thought, but he was like, the future will either disprove me or or kind of like approve of what I'm saying. But so he always kept it. He also wrote this excerpt that he was fearful of the future of this country because of the wrongs that had been done here. So he wasn't like no oblivious motherfucker. Like the motherfucker was like, nah, this shit foul. Like we doing some foul shit here. Like and he wasn't in denial of it. You get what I'm saying? Um, and so what I was gonna say, so he wrote when they asked him about it. One of the things he said that the indigenous people were just like the white people. He said, except that they've been living in the wild for too long. So that's why their pigmentation is a little different because they've been out in the sun for too long. And they're a little wild because they uncivilized, right? He said, but they're just like us. All we need to do is civilize them and tame them. And they're just like us. He said, however, the African, he said he is not a human. He said he is in between a human and an animal. He's in a place between a human and an animal, right? And so he said that. He said the indigenous folks were just like them, but the black man was between an animal and a human. Um, which is also how like the three-fifths shit came about. That was for representation, but it was still connected to the idea that they're not fully human. You know what I'm saying? They're like not really an animal either, but they're in between. Um, and then he also said that if we was to make the white slave, because they used to have white slaves, right? So he was like, if we was to make the white slave do what we make the African slave, the amount of work, if we was to make him do the amount of work that we make the African slave do, he said it would not survive half of a day. So this man is telling you, like, they can't do that shit that we got these motherfuckers doing out there for 16 hours, 14 hours. Like they would die, right? So the whole idea of having African slaves is like you're the most durable slave. I save if I gotta buy, even if I gotta buy, why would I buy the less durable thing when I can go? And I told people that, right? Like this is how this shit started. This shit was like buying, and then after a while, like they couldn't really keep buying because they don't really have Europe didn't really have resources. So if then if I got guns and if I got certain shit, then I could take from you. Dudes do that shit in the neighborhood. Why don't keep buying drugs from the drug dealer if I could rob them?
Right, exactly.
But we can't have those conversations with certain people. Um,
We can.
and it's tough because it's like they have like the pseudoscience. They got like the whole
They got their whole thing, and they gonna send you a TikTok about it, and
yo.
they gonna stick beside it.
So I'll
They
be
gonna
like,
stick
yeah.
beside it.
I'll be like, what are we? I said, because one moment we're Moors, the next moment we're Hebrew
We
Israelite,
Native American,
we Hebrew Israelite, then we
and we Native
Indian,
American,
then we Egyptians from Kemet. Like it's just like a
and
lot of
then we
confusion.
Asiatic.
It'd be a lot of confusion, and I'll be like, yo, like what are we? Like which one are we going with? Because it's like you got the Hebrew Israelites, we really Hebrew, y'all don't know your history, blah blah blah. They go crazy, and then he say you funny, and then the next moment you're like, we all Moors, we Moors, and but then it's
And
like
then we
I'm like, so we Moors, are we Muslim? Wasn't the
no,
Moors Muslim? Like what's going on? Like because it's like it just and then
no, they be
religion.
atheists. They don't have no religion, don't believe in no God, no Allah. Okay,
And it's crazy
and they
because
just doing whatever, and
it's
they
crazy.
believe it with their whole chest. And that's why I'm like, I'm not finna go back and forth.
Yeah, they wrong and strong. They like
Yes, wrong and strong. You okay? You got it. Oh, and then next thing you know, you a passport, bro. Like you got it. You got all the answers. I'm just the dumb one. You got it. Take it. Take the lead.
yo, but that be the funny thing. I'd be like, that's how I get them. I'd be like, what year? Because I like I don't let them give me some big bullshit. I'd be like, what year are we talking about? Like this girl been buying into that weird shit, right? So I was talking to this girl. I didn't even know
Hmm.
she subscribed to that FBA shit, right? We just having a regular conversation one day, and then she just started going. And I'm not saying that on some disrespectful shit. I'm just saying that like the whole rhetoric of their whole
Right,
rhetoric, right?
right, right. It's not to
So,
be
so, so,
disrespectful.
so
Yeah.
she came out of nowhere and she started like talking some the white man was created 6,000 years ago shit, right? So I said, hold on. I said, hold on. You drinking that Kool-Aid too? I said, hold on. No, she told me the white man wasn't always around. So I said, so where was he? So so she go, he was created. So I go, okay, when was he created? When and where? So she go, come on, you don't know about this? No, sister, I'm asking you. Can you help me get the answer? She said, nah, I'm not just gonna give you the answer. Google it. I'm just like, the one thing she did tell me, she said, 6,000 years ago. I said, what year was 6,000 years ago?
No. Okay. So during the holidays, I'm glad you said 6,000 because someone else said this where I was at. So during the holidays, I went to go see Tony Rock.
Mm-hmm.
If you live under A Rock, that's Chris Rock's brother. But
Okay.
anyways, so black comedians, they always point out that one white man who love to sit in the front. I don't know why they do this to themselves, but they sit in the front and they get picked on the whole show. And so then he was like, he said a joke, and then he was like, "Oh, sorry, you're not gonna get it. It's a black thing, whatever, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
There was this man, I kid you not, I'm not making this up. He looked like a professor. He was my height, 5'1", had on the little cashmere sweater with the collar that go like this with the button, glasses, light skinned man. And he was like, "Oh, they were created in 6,000 BC." Talking about white men. Tony Rock looked at him and he was like, "Are you dead ass right now? Like that's for real? Like you really saying that right now?" And the man saying it with his whole chest. His whole chest, 6,000 BC. I'm like, bro, he got ate up the remaining of the show. I'm like, he should have never even spoke.
He was a
He
white
should.
dude.
The man who said
The 6,000.
6,000, it was a light skinned black man who said it.
Oh, oh, okay, okay,
But he was cracking on the white dude
okay,
at
okay.
first. And so the black dude, like, added to the crack, like, oh, he
Yeah,
just came about anyway,
yeah,
6,000
yeah.
BC anyway. And then Tony Rock was looking at him like, that was oddly specific. Like, what? Killed
Yo,
him the whole remaining of the show. Like, I was like, wow, people
but
are so dumb.
but that's the thing, right? So this girl told me that again. I know
Mm-hmm.
it's just regurgitated information, right? And this is how you pick apart,
Right.
like, this how you pick them apart. So I'm like, how long ago was 6,000 years ago? Because listen, if it's 6,000 BC, that's like 8,000 years ago, right? Like this is the dumb shit, right? So so when they say 6,000, they math is already wrong because they mean like 6,000 BC type shit. You know what I'm saying? So if we added or subtracted from right now, that's 8,000, right? But they're not saying 8,000. So I just be sitting there listening, right? So I'm like, okay, so what year was that? So she like, yo, go look it up, man. So I'm like, hold on, but you educating me, sister. Like, come on, don't do that. Don't be like that. She said, you just want me to give you the answer. You don't want to do your work. And I'm just like, okay, boy. I go Google this shit, right? I already knew this was coming. I go Google this shit. I'm not really finding shit. All I'm finding is like when white was created, the in 1682, the
Wait
concept
till
of
they
white.
tell you about Google as the search engine. Wait till they tell you about it.
Yeah. So I'm like this. They only keep showing like the construction of whiteness, right? Because
Mm.
that's when people started calling themselves white. Like people was not calling themselves. And this is why the whole global blackness to like before 1680s, it don't make sense because you mean to tell me black people always call themselves black, but white people never call themselves white? That shit don't make no
No.
sense.
Yeah.
It don't make fucking sense, right? So because first of all, in Europe, the people that were considered black had nothing to do with race. It had nothing to do with color. It had something to do with your condition. This is why some Italians were considered black. This is
I
why that.
was just about to say when I was in New York, like I met like some like real Italians. They get mad when you call them white.
Yeah, yeah, they'll
They
tell
get
you.
they get real like no,
Yeah, they would
I'm not
consider
white.
it because it's like it was a whole part of Europe that were considered black because they was the peasants. They were because black before they added pigmentation to it, it meant like evil, wicked, all
Right,
type of
yeah.
negative, just like white meant angelic, pure,
Hmm.
beautiful, all that crazy shit, right? And then when race became a thing, this is when they added like, and this is like in the 1680s, right? And this next thing you know, like a lot of countries in Europe, a lot of people started going by I'm white, and then there was like you black and whatever, right? But before that, it wasn't even a global thing before, like you know what I'm saying, for a long time. But anyway, so I'm asking her, I'm like, yo, you're not gonna help me. That's crazy. Like like I genuinely wanted to at this point. I genuinely wanted to know if she knew what the fuck she was talking about because she spoke about it with conviction, right? She was just like 6,000. How you don't know this, brother? So she said
Right, like boom,
something like this. I
drop
said,
that
nah.
mic.
I said, look, I just looked it up. I said
And
I looked
ain't
it up
nothing there.
and it's not coming up. No,
And what
nothing
she
about.
say about Google? What she told you about Google?
She told me, brother, you gotta just keep looking. I'm like, look, where? Can you point me in a direction? I just went on Google. You told me Google it. I went on Google. I looked it up, and I was like, she said, nah, you gotta keep looking. You gotta just keep looking.
Keep looking where? She ain't offer you no book, no nothing.
Yo, yo. She told me keep looking. Another thing people be doing, they be lying. I was on Clubhouse one day, and this chick told us to read these books. We were talking about the alpha. We were talking about the alpha, omega, delta, gamma character traits. She started going on a rant about how all of that shit is some gay shit, and that we following some gay shit. Like the Greeks were a gay civilization. Like if you look at their art and their statues, like they show little kids sitting on, old saints lap or shoulders. They show statues with the penis out. Like they was talking all that wild shit, right? So I'm just listening to them. I'm like, what that got to do with animal character traits? Alpha, beta, gamma, sigma, all of those things. They said, yeah, those are Greek words. And the Greeks were gay. So I said, so all the motherfuckers was gay. So nobody was having children, huh? Nobody was procreating over there, right? Everybody was gay. It was just like, and I'm just like, what the fuck are we talking about? so, yo, so the conversation, so then she was like, I'm gonna tell you, yo, she posted a link, right? She posted a link. She said the alpha shit is mad gay. The alpha animal, the male animal fucks all the other males. Like she just said some weird shit. She posted a link. I skimmed, see, because they be thinking motherfuckers ain't gonna read. I went to the motherfucking
The
link.
minute you bring a citation out,
Yo, I read the fucking whole shit. You know how mad I was? Because I was like,
you
yo,
was
you
mad
really.
because you lost brain cells after
But I
that.
read
I'm
kind of fast.
sure.
I read through the shit kind of fast because I kind of like
Yeah,
skimmed
because
through it.
you read, so you able to
Yeah.
pick up.
And I'm just like, yo, but she was talking. She knew a lot of people not gonna go read it, right? So she kept talking like she was talking the facts, and I was like, "Yo, why did you just make me read that?" Like, I said, "That don't say nothing about what we talking about." So now the dudes on stage is like, because at first they was just jacking it, like, "Oh, she provided her proof," but nobody went to look at it. And another dude posted it in the room. So when I went to read it and I came back, I said, "Yo, bro, take that link down, bro." Like, I just read that shit and I'm tight because I wasted my time. And now she wanted to say like, "Oh yeah, I was trying to tell you that that link don't really talk about it." But I'm just like, so why would you like? So why would you tell us to post it? So then now she's trying to offer us. She said, "Read this book," but I did read this book though. So I'm like, so now another dude's like, "How can we trust your word? Like you just posted a faulty link. The brother read it. Now you telling us read a book? You think we gonna go get a book?" And then like, yo, it was so crazy. But this is the type of shit that people do, right? Like, and then when you ask them for scholarship, they'll tell you, "Come on, brother, you know our history is an oral history." I'm like, bro,
Boy, that's their favorite. And then Google, don't. Well, you can't go off Google all the time because you know Google was made by the white man and da da da. Okay, okay.
yeah. Yo, you ever had you explain what certain words mean, and they'll be like, "Well, that's not what it means to me."
And I just be looking just how I'm looking. Like, huh?
Yeah,
What? Like,
yeah.
what is you even talking about?
Somebody said that sister that told you 6,000 years ish suffer from tribalism. And this is what I told somebody, right? I said, let me tell you something. I said, you got to be a fool. First of all, you got to be a fool just to believe we came from monkeys. That's one,
And you
right?
gotta be a fool to just get a piece of information from a group chat and just run with it and then regurgitate it.
Yo, I met this other sister, right? Yo, she was this, before I even get to her story.
You be meaning some of everybody.
Yo, but look, I'm like a people person, you know what I'm saying? So I just be like, I'm a social
Oh,
butterfly.
so social.
Mhm.
How I wish I could be like that.
Man, I think you're all right. You be meeting people too.
I be meeting people. I do. I talk to people.
So, so what I was saying, yeah. So you gotta be a fool. You gotta be a fool. One, to believe we came from monkeys, and two, to believe that if you live in Europe long enough, you're gonna become pale skin, have blonde hair and blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? That is some of the most dumbest shit I've heard. When people say, if you live in a place in Europe long enough, in the cold, in the whatever, that you pick. Don't get me wrong. We know when lack of sun, makes us a little pale. Not to the point where you're gonna become white and your hair gonna
Yes,
become
like
and your hair gonna
no.
become blonde and your eyes gonna become blue. So so when you try to tell when they
Snot
try
in your
to
eyes gonna become blue.
so when you try to tell me, right? So when I asked them how were they created,
They said they
right?
came from the Caucasus Mountains, and that's how we got Caucasian.
Yeah, but see, they just have so many confusing stories. One story is that's why the NOI will tell you Dr. Yakub created the white
Mhm.
people. He
Mhm.
extracted the light gene from the black people,
Mhm.
and then these people procreated, and then they shipped them off to an island, and they'll say all of this
Mhm.
weird shit that I don't know where the fuck they got this shit from.
And they
Right.
got that from a pamphlet. That man wrote that, just put it in the pamphlet and passed it out to the
Which is
community.
bullshit because you're supposed to be Muslim, and this is nowhere in Islamic doctrine, right? So it's like, again, they just made up some weird shit, right? They made up some. I don't know where the fuck they got this from, right? Boom. Then they took all that shit about a white man, but the man that came to Elijah Muhammad was a Turk. Mustafar Muhammad was a Turk, right? And they
Yeah.
don't they call them white, right? Like so it's just crazy, right? Um, and then so I'm just sitting here like, okay, so Dr. Yakub, they say, right? Then they had another story where in Africa, the albinos, they used to round them up and they outcast them out the community and or some weird shit, or they traveled on their own to Europe, which is a lie because scientists shows that they said the first inhabitants of Europe had some melanin, right? So the whole thing is it gets kind of weird, right? Like how is it that you could go to Africa today? How is it that black people today, right? They can make a white looking baby, right? They can make children with blue eyes, blonde hair, like because black people have the ability to do that, right? In their genetics already. Um, yeah. So when they try to say that, so when they try to tell you all these different things, it's just like, bro, this shit goes completely against like I be feeling violated sometimes because it's like, yo, you really think I'm dumb, son?
Yes,
Yo,
they do. And they
yo,
will tell you, learn your history. They be sounding like Fredro Starr. Do your Googles. Do your Googles. Do your Googles. And then when it's not on Google, well, Google was created by the white man and da da da. Like
well, brother, did
the
you expect
average
that?
person
They be like, did you expect that the white man will put
was
your
gonna put it
history
on
on Google?
Google. Come on now.
Look at this.
And we know the average person only read 19 minutes a day. You niggas aren't reading. You niggas aren't reading.
Yo, yo.
And if you are, you're not comprehending. The comprehension skill. This is why test scores are low. Like
Uh,
everything is going downhill.
50. This was crazy right here. 54% of Americans read
They
below a
illiterate.
sixth grade reading level.
They illiterate.
54. You know what that means? That means a lot of people with degrees.
More than half.
That means a lot of people with degrees don't fucking know how to read
They don't.
proper.
They don't. They don't know what they talking about.
They
But
think,
be the main one shouting at the mountaintop. And and make no mistake, you put your hours in. But what were you grasping when you put them hours in?
and that's the thing because
You wasn't grasping nothing. You was cheating. I'm gonna tell the world what y'all was doing. I'm gonna tell the community. You was cheating. Okay? You was getting information from the previous semester. From the
Quizlet,
students that
that's
took
still that's
yes,
still
from
cheating.
the students that took it previously and failed, but they got their test back. That's why professors don't give us our test back now. They ain't playing that game with y'all.
Yeah, and we know. I said this on my other video. We know the professors and checking them papers like that.
That as well. That as well.
They be skimming through shit and they be
Because
like,
they
okay,
overloaded with so many courses, and then they probably going out and getting their PhD in the same process. So it's like it's too much going on.
yeah. So somebody said, the funny thing, albinos go as far as black. I mean, go as far as biblical days, right? So somebody said, do you think humanity came from Africa? I think that nobody knows where humanity really came from.
Yeah.
Um, whatever they found so far might suggest that it started in Africa, but nobody can say for a fact where
Hmm.
humanity started. They can suggest based on findings, but every day we find new things, right? Every day we find new information. Every day when like shit, they just found some shit on the North Pole. Well, they've been found some
Yeah,
shit
they
like
did.
in Antarctica, and they
It's
always
like
find
frozen
shit.
people. Like,
Yeah, they always finding shit. So
yeah.
and there's certain things they don't tell us. And I'm not gonna say that it started anywhere else. I just believe that the world didn't have borders like we have them today, right? The world didn't have borders. There was no countries. There was no continents. We don't even know how it looks. A lot of people say the world was one block together, right? So yeah, nobody really knows. We just have information that suggests like, okay, well, we found the oldest remains here, so maybe, but nobody really knows. Nobody can talk like on some this is the facts because shit is being found every single day. um so yeah, I don't and like I tell people, and like I tell people all the time, I'll be like, what does talking so much about Africa even do for you today? Like, how can that liberate you? How can that get the white man's foot off your neck today? Because we spent so much time talking about Egypt, the pyramids, and the Moors, and we spent so much time talking about history that we don't even we fail to plan. We fail to properly execute. We fail to learn the things that we need to learn to like you're so busy learning about history. How about you learn about some fucking finance? Right? How about you learn about how to some business management? Like how about we learn how to build credit? How about we learn how to get business credit, right? So we can get these loans. Like
Hmm.
how about we learn how to do
Like,
things
we got to start from here. Like, and go. Like,
like what is talking about Sudan and the
we're
greatness
gonna
of the
do.
old kings. That's what I be asking people. I say, yo, we spend hours. That's why you gotta know your history. For what, brother? Then what we gonna do?
What a famous line. You know the famous line. If you don't know your history, how you know where you're going?
I be looking at people like, what the fuck is I gonna do? Yes.
How do you know where you're going if you don't know your history?
Not us over here mocking them. And then somebody be like, brother, tell him.
How
Mm-hmm.
you know where you're going? You don't know which ways to go
Yo, the
because
booty
you don't
clappers.
know where you came from. I
Yo,
had
what
a
be get
man tell me this straight up.
what be getting me tight be the booty clappers in the background. Brother, tell them. They don't know. The
It's the
background singing.
fist. It's the fist. Child. What they talking about now? What do they
Nah,
mean? I disagree on the out of Africa thing, but I respect that response, not trying to hold the live up. I know it's time for us to go. Africans, y'all don't understand. Like me and Vic could literally talk for an 8 hour shift. We could
yo,
literally
that
talk for an 8 hour shift. Like we have to force ourselves to stop talking to each other. We could
yeah,
really go and be yawning like this and stretching, but still like,
or I felt like if
and
I was laying down, I probably would have been fell asleep. That's why I'm glad.
laying
So he
down.
said, fact, Africa don't even care about their own history. That's true. They don't even talk about slavery. Like on some real shit. I feel like they don't even like you know how many African people
And
I
that
know?
and this is why I ask African people specifically, like, because there seems to be this campaign to get Black Americans on board with everything that's going on, and I'm like, What is the necessity to have us with you? What is the necessity?
Yeah, like,
If
and to
you
the
are in the land of all the resources and you telling me I'm so brainwashed and then I don't want to leave America and I don't want to do this and all that, and you telling me what's wrong with me, why do you want to do business with me?
why would I want to do
Why?
business? Why would I want to do business with you? You don't even control your own resources. Like, and this be the
Exactly. Exactly. Why I want to
and
do, I already know, but why you want to do business with me? You sit up here and you talk about how bad I am and this is that, me and my people. Why you want to do business with me so bad?
we're trying to get in, but they don't really need to. Malcolm X said this a long time ago. He said, "Hold on, do I got the video here? I'm actually gonna do a live with this video tomorrow, maybe
Hmm.
tomorrow, yeah. Because Malcolm X said this. He said this. He said this. Look, this is the shit I be seeing, but when I see it, look,
White immigrants
No,
can come to
because
this country 50 years ago with nickels and dimes and no education and come here and pool their little nickels and dimes and no education and set up little stores, develop these stores into larger stores, develop this into an industry which creates job opportunities for whites. Since Lincoln was supposed to have freed the black man 100 years ago, and today the black man, according to the government economists, has spending power of $20 billion per year. We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man and tell the white man that he's discriminating against him for not giving him a job in factories that he himself set up. If the black man has $20 billion, and these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up, they should use this same ingenuity to show the black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own. And then we won't have to force our way into.
it's longer than that, but it's only like 2 minutes. But I'm gonna do a live on it. But look, how the black people's budget was $20 billion in the '60s. Crazy, and they ain't do shit. I mean, it was doing a little something, you know. But he's obviously complaining because it's like the same shit been being said, blaming the white man, right? And even though back then they probably had a little more right than we did because they was, it was
yeah,
just
a little more reason to blame. Yeah.
but even then, Malcolm X was telling them like, "Yo, bro, we spent $20 billion. 20, that's still a lot of money back then. In the '60s, 20, but 1.6
Mm-hmm.
trillion right now is a lot of money." So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're not in no moral position to blame the white man. None. You go out there and chase um Popeyes and Jordans and iPhone and all of that dumb shit. You do that. Nobody forces you. You do that.
Yeah. No one forces
Fuck.
your hand. But see, this is what I'm confused. I always get confused when people bring up black people's buying power. I always get confused.
What you mean?
Like, I don't get that because it'd be like so many people like around that don't have it, like at all, and they not wearing like the latest and greatest. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just location. I guess
I know plenty of poor people with Jordans.
I don't.
I know plenty of poor people with an
I guess
iPhone.
that's why I'd be confused. Okay, okay, yeah, iPhone, yeah,
Brand new one too. They get the brand new one every time it come out.
yeah, they get the latest
Exactly.
and be
Right.
in debt.
I know plenty of broke people. They don't got no money,
But
but they
then it's
figure out
like, but you don't have no money though.
you do got some money. How you got a new phone?
You just put it on the payment plan
You still
that
paying.
you can't pay.
You paying something. You paying something.
You on a arrangement. You on a like everything is an arrangement.
But you still pay monthly payments.
Yeah, but everything's in a okay. This is when I'm about to sound dumb, y'all. Everything's on an arrangement. Like you
That's
don't have it.
credit Credit is the same way. What you think? People buy property and they got the money. You think they show up to the bank and be like, I'm buying this property for
This
1.6?
this is why I'm confused because
No.
it then isn't credit relatively new?
So look, when people buy homes, what do? They take a
They
loan.
run their credit so
They
that
get
they
a
could get a loan.
they get a loan. Exactly. So they don't got the money, but guess what? They still purchasing the house and they make payments, right?
So
So
that factors into your buying power. You don't have
yeah,
the money, but listen, yes, take me to
ev-
school
everything is like that. Everything is like that, right?
because
With
you don't really have it. So when people be like, "Oh, we got one, however much buying power," I'm like, "But we don't really have it.
it is, you do have it. Like she
How do
said,
I have it?"
the same
You
way that
said if I get credit, they run my credit and then I get a loan.
hold on,
So I have it because I can get a loan.
the same way. Look, this is the world of credit, right? That's why I always say, as long as I got credit, I got money, right?
You do.
Um, so I literally could be broke, have no money,
Yeah, but
and
then
my
when they run that social, you gonna get
and my
offers.
and my credit could be 750. Great credit, right? And of course, you need to just have like whatever. You need to just have a little sum. They need to be able to see you could pay it, right? You could get somebody. Let's just say
But you
somebody
can't pay it though. See, I don't know. It's like vulture.
you could pay it. I mean,
The
of course,
vultureness.
it is
No, because I
bullshit.
feel like sometimes they give you more than what you can really
Of course,
pay.
of course, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's how people get rich. Interest, right? They know you could
Interest.
barely, they know you could barely pay certain
You
shit,
can't pay it.
right? But it's still buying power though. It's still people that buy homes. It's rare that they show up
That they
cash.
have it. Yeah.
Cars, everything's the same thing.
Same.
You
Yeah.
got a car, right? Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't just show up. Only rappers do shit like that, and athletes, and they show up full price. That's why they brag about it. They be like, my car paid in full. You know what I'm saying? They brag about my house paid in full. They brag about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everything that people get is some type of payment. People getting sneakers on payment plans. But the point is this: I didn't even know you could do that, right? But the thing is,
Yeah, apparently now
ju-
you can get
jewelry,
clothes on
everything.
payment plan.
But
Everything on layaway.
this is the point. People make black folks make a priority about what they want to spend their money on.
Mm-hmm.
So you choose to listen. You know how many broke people I know who make sure they get weed money every week.
Oh yeah.
You know how many broke people
They
I know?
get their weed.
They make sure they get some Hennessy. They make sure they figure out how to get that iPhone, right? And then they make sure they figure out how to pay the bill and the payments, right? So and this is just like on some super bum shit, right? But then you got the other people who have a job, right? And you got the other people, you got the other people who have a job and they live paycheck to paycheck because they're trying to buy Gucci. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to buy Louis. They're trying to buy all of these things. They're trying to live above. They Amiri, right? Whatever the rappers are talking about in their songs, that's what they try to chase. But they know they can't really afford it. But they trying to look a certain way. They trying to look good. So you have levels. Everything that they have in common is bad, poor spending, right? Um, so it still goes back to the same thing. Like you could literally use your money. Like, look, there's good debt and then there's bad debt. Good debt, good debt is the debt that's gonna make you money. For example, if I go borrow $5,000, you don't even gotta borrow. Let's say you got a credit line. Um, let's say I got great credit. I don't got no money. Let's say I'm broke. I ain't got no money. Um, and I got like right now my credit line is like $30,000. Right. Let's say I'll be like, excuse me. Let's say I'll be like, I go into debt, right? Because I purchase something that I can sell. Let's say some people do this. This is how you flip credit. You ain't got, but you got to make the money. See, I wouldn't advise you to play with this, but you can play with it, right? Because it's like you gotta spend money to make money. right? So let's just say I got a business or I sell sneakers. Like a lot of people do this, right? They get into the sneaker shit, the buying and reselling. Let's say I use $5,000 of my credit and I just buy some sneakers or some shit and resell them or buy whatever other thing. Let's just say I'm selling something, right? Or some type of merch. I don't got the money, but I could use my credit to purchase it. Now I gotta hustle to sell it. Now when I hustle to sell it, I can pay, depending on how good of a salesman you are, you can pay the money you spent and you can make some profit, right? Like, cause you got 30 days or like up to 45 days, depending on your cycle when you gotta pay your shit back. And even if you don't make the whole money, you could pay the minimum. Let's just say this 1 month, you should pay your shit in full. But let's just say this 1 month, you feel like, you know what, you was a little short, but you still want to keep some cash in your pocket. You could pay the minimum charge. You could pay the minimum, and then just hustle a little harder. Try to like double that. But you go from having no money to being able to make some money with just credit, right? So is then that's good debt, right? A debt that's gonna make you money. It's just like when you buy a house. Yeah, you owe money on a house, but like it's appreciated, right? Depending on the neighborhood, it's like most people that have some type of wealth in America is property. It's through property, right? To home equity. So it's like good debt. It's making money. Whether you rent, if you rent in a space and you're making money, right? Like whatever. Like, but people incur bad debt. There's a lot of people who they go on a phone plan and they don't make no money on their phone. You don't utilize your phone for nothing. You don't make no money, right? They sit here, they'll put sneakers on the layaway. Like, why do you think a lot of rich people they don't really be chasing some of that shit? They chasing assets. You know what I'm saying? Liquid assets. They chasing a lot of different things. We just our mindset is fucked up. Rich dad, poor dad, right? Like our shit is fucked up. Like motherfuckers get on. What do black people do? I'm gonna go get me a chain. I'm gonna go get me the fastest car on the market. Like, bro, you could drove a regular car. My homegirl said she had a Honda Civic. She said, yo,
Mm-hmm.
from a Honda Civic, she went and got a BMW. Well, as soon as she had some paper,
For what? The maintenance.
then she was complaining. Look, every time she had an issue with that motherfucker, she complained. She said, I should have just kept my Honda Civic. You know what she did? After she cracked, something happened with the Beamer. You know what kind of car she went and got after that? A
A
Benz.
Nissan.
A
Oh.
Benz. Like she was, and I was looking at her like, Shorty, you complain about the maintenance on the car. You kept saying you wish you had your Honda. The moment this car something happened, you had to get rid of the car, and you got the chance to get another car after complaining about having a foreign car. And what do? You go get a Benz? I was like, come on, like you doing that shit to. I don't want to hear you complain. That's the thing. I don't want to hear people complain that repeatedly make stupid choices because you knew better. We had those conversations. You told me, damn, I should have never got this car. Like the main every time something was wrong, she had to take it to the dealership. She couldn't even take it to like a regular mechanic. She had to take it to the dealership, and the dealership gonna head crack you. They're gonna be like, they charge $200 just to look at the car, just to look at it before even doing anything. So it's crazy, but yeah, it's good credit. I mean, it's good debt and bad debt, and a lot of people that goes into the buying power. But like yo, you got people who chase Jordans. Every time Jordan drop, what Jordans drop like once a month. I don't even know when how them
I
shits
don't
drop.
even know.
But you got people who do that.
But there is shoes that do drop once a month, and it'd
Yeah.
be like,
And you know what people do? People will
sorry, I'm
starve.
cold.
I watch people do shit like this, right? I watch people not eat to smoke. Like I watch people like
Yeah, they got it bad. They will skip out on the light bill. They got
yeah,
candles.
yo, they will literally do some wild shit, right?
No,
And
it's
then
Khadijah used to be a reseller for me.
people care about materialism, financial independence, man. Yo, that's a fact. Like, and this is what I say. I don't want to hear that. look, I see people come here, man. Like that's what Malcolm X was saying, right? He said if them white people could come with nickels and dimes, but you know what black people gonna say? But the white man, they ain't have to go against the system. I'm like, yo, bro. J- J- I said, look, Jewish people complain about the Holocaust, but they also work together to get shit done. They don't just complain, right? It's one thing to just be complaining and asking for a handout. They ain't ask nobody for shit. You know what they did? They said, all right, we're gonna work together. We're gonna use our money. They started a lending business. This is how they got into banking, literally. Like they just started lending people money. Like I lend you $10, pay me back 20. You know what I'm saying? That was their interest shit. I'm not saying exactly like that, but people do that shit in jail. Like I give you one honey bun when you go to the store, give me two back. And this is how people build their shit up. I watch people do this shit in jail.
Jail. Jail
I
is a
watch
crazy place.
I watch people say, I watch motherfuckers say like, I give you one pouch of cigarettes, bring me back two. Mind you, it's not even a smart bargain, but people was
It's
the,
not.
the, the addiction, right? Or I need the money now
I
type
need
shit.
it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So people used to be like, because you go to the store every 2 weeks. So you dudes used to be like, yo, I give it to you. You got to give me two back. This is exactly what they was doing. They would lend you money and they would charge you interest. Lend you money, charge you interest to the point, and then they only did it amongst family. They ain't work with no outsiders, right? And then to the point where they had enough money, and then they got into the bank. They established like a bank, right? And now boom, now they could what loans like now you just getting more money coming into. So it's like, bruh, they didn't just complain. They didn't just sit around and say, "Oh, well, they killed that." Nah, they got the working, and because they didn't trust people, they didn't fuck with nobody. Come on, bro. We sit around complain like shit could be done, but motherfuckers don't trust each other. Motherfuckers untrustworthy.
Right.
You know,
It is what it is.
this Chinese lady was telling us one time how and this Indian people we was talking about like why they only hire their own people, right? And they was like, oh,
Hmm.
it's not like no racist shit. It's that we'll pay our workers less money, right, in order to buy another business. So,
For the greater good overall. And
so
you can't do that with a black person you
yeah,
hiring. I
motherfuckers
need
start,
my $22.10 an hour.
yeah, and people get it. People be like, all right, look, they'll be like, yo, we're gonna pay you this much, but then the next business we buy, your family could operate it. Who
Hmm.
who's gonna argue with that? Who's gonna argue with that? But we don't think like that. People don't think like that. You said, I know I got flip flops. Yo, but
Mm-mm.
people don't be thinking like that. And I be trying to tell, but this is why I tell people like black people not going nowhere together. Like, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but like,
No,
yo,
but it is what it is.
you know, um, so I tell people all the time, like, you need to work with people you trust. Get you like five people, right? If you
And
really
just
trust
do the
them.
thing.
Yeah, you could, yo, y'all could come up with a money scheme. Like you get you like 3 to 5 people, and you could do whatever. Like you could buy an acre of land for 3,500, no, $35,000 in Georgia, and if you look for other places, like you can do a lot of shit. If you think about it, right? Why you think a lot of like headquarters be like in Salt Lake City, like in weird ass states, Missouri?
Yeah, or in Arkansas. I just found out like I think Walmart is in Arkansas. Like what you doing in Arkansas?
Yeah, it's also like it has something to do with like I don't know if it's related to tax, property tax, or I don't know what the full. I'm really like looking into it, but sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to have your headquarters somewhere. Sometimes it's easier. New York is a big market. You trying to like even trying to establish a bodega here is a prize. It's too
Yeah,
much
too much.
too much shit going on.
Not the at the bodega. When I go again, I'm gonna just say that all the time. I'm going
Hmm.
to the bodega.
Somebody said Hennessy is just expensive piss. Facts. I tell people that all the time.
Ugh, not with that picture.
Yo, you funny. I tell people that all the time. Hennessy is cheap cognac, but you can't tell black people that. I say, yo, I've been to room. I've been to like places like the Harvard Club and like ballrooms and shit. Like motherfuckers don't be drinking no Hennessy. You can't tell niggas in the hood
Mm-mm.
that shit ain't the best shit since cook crack. She said I used to be a reseller. Oh, that's what you was reading. You funny.
Like, not you used to resell.
Yeah, reselling Toyota, Acura,
This
Lexus,
picture
and
gotta go. BK, BK.
They're too busy. No, but that's real shit though. Yeah, a lot of those cars is more reliable. Honda Civic probably got like the most parts. They'll get you the most parts. Exactly. If you wanna style a little bit but not too crazy, you could get you an Acura. You could get you a Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You listen, even getting an Altima or a Maxima is a nice car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but people wanna, again, keeping up with the Joneses. Nah, I need to get me a Beamer.
And the
Um,
Beamer be having so many issues. It's like, get you a Honda Accord, 6 cylinder,
thank you, bro. I appreciate you
all
coming
the
in.
bells and whistles.
Yeah, man, all them cars, man. Listen, my man's in Philly. He bought a Beamer. He told me, bro, the amount of money that it takes to maintain that car, bro, is not
Yeah,
worth it.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, he says. And don't get me wrong. So back to the Jews, right? I'm just saying how they started. Of course, they get help now. Of course, they got, but you gotta have something, right? You're not gonna get again, like I said earlier. You need money to make money, or you need some type of service, right? They was able to get in. They established some lending shit, and it was like boom, banking. Banks run America. They'll take you home, right? Because you need a loan to get a home. You need a loan to get a car.
Now they'll take you home.
They'll take you home. You miss one,
You
two
can use
payments.
your home as collateral.
Yeah, but all it takes is you lose your job or some weird shit happening,
Yeah.
and then a lot of people. But look, people don't take the proper steps. They don't got no credit. Like people, like one of the things, right? People complain about the banks don't want to lend us the money, and these people be having jacked up credit. I want to lend you the money either. You don't got no history of payment, right? Of like that you pay good, that I could trust you, that you're reliable. Why would I trust you to lend you money? And we know how many black people been doing shady shit. Like, not to sound funny, but come on, people been doing the cable bill. Then they were doing the bootleg cable. Like people been. I'm not saying this. Oh, it's a you should stereotype everybody, but it's like, come on, we got to be real. Like when you go in the store and the store owner watch you, it's because they probably had somebody black that stole before. So when people be getting on like they just being prejudiced, like bro, they watching motherfuckers that look like you because y'all probably stole before. When I walk around and I see certain people, I watch people too. Like, let's stop acting like we are oblivious. Why? Because I done got into shit with black people, people that look like me. Why the fuck would I be walking? Like, if I ain't never had no problem with no Mexican, why would I be watching the Mexicans when I see them? That don't even make sense.
But I think all races steal though. All races steal.
It's not about all races stealing. It's about if I'm pretty sure in California and LA where the Chicanos live, if they was walking up in them stores stealing, they probably watch them too, right? Like,
Hmm.
and I think that's just what it's about. You can't think everything is not always racism, right? Sometimes you have to acknowledge your people be doing some foul shit, right? Your own people. Like we gotta
It be
acknowledge
your
that.
own people. It be your own people.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't
Like
live in a utopian world where we all just get along and we
for
all
example,
just
yeah. When I was younger,
have respect for each other.
when I was younger, we used to go right around do the stupid shit where we used to beat up Mexicans or dudes used to rob the Chinese man. Like they used to rob like people that wasn't black. But it's like black people want to act oblivious as to why these people scared of them. Motherfucker, like y'all used to violate them. How many Chinese men y'all don't rob every time they came to the building? This, to the point where the Chinese men don't even come to your. They might not even come to you. Well, the Chinese men might be the only people that come to your door now. But if you order DoorDash and all them other, the people not coming to your door. They're not coming in your building, like because cause people have done mad shit to them. People don't beat them up, robbed them, shot them, like, and it's like we want to cry they being prejudiced. Like, bruh, it's a serious matter. It's a serious, like, if I've been robbed before, I'm gonna be hesitant to go up in some building. Like, I'm gonna be like, nah, come downstairs. Like,
Is that what y'all DoorDash people do? Come downstairs.
yep, they be like, they're not coming in your building. Like, they gonna be
Not
like,
come downstairs. Come downstairs is crazy.
yo, this should be
This
weird, man.
ain't a hotel. Come downstairs.
Yo,
You want
they,
your food?
yo, they be on some. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so you can Central Back on the
In this
road.
live, we going on 4 hours.
Yep,
I used to DoorDash. Dang, Khadijah, how many jobs you had, girl?
yep,
And you was in the Bronx with it.
yep. Like for example, right?
Cause they
Look,
ain't got it. She said they seldomly tip. Cause they ain't have it.
this person brought a perfect example: war. Why you think every time there's like some type of recession or economic meltdown, there's always like some war that's going on, right? Because war makes money. For example, do you know that the government, right? The government doesn't own. All right, the government, our government does not manufacture weapons, right? The only thing our government does is tax the people. And what's the other thing? They tax the people and some other shit, right? Everything else is privatized. Like the government literally takes the money from the people and they buy guns, jets, bombs from private owned companies. That shit is mind boggling, right? Because it's like these people are getting their pockets fat, right? And it's just like, you start a war and it's like the manufacturing shit goes up. This is how Germany came out of the Great Depression, manufacturing of weapons and shit, right? That's why they was always going to war. World War I was because of Germany. World War II, like it's just like it was constantly booming. Which was kind of like it's all a lot of people do that. But yeah, Khadijah's a hustler, man. That's that
She
Arab,
said
the Arab.
she door dash in the Bronx with no tip, child.
It be hard, man. Like people be needing
I
their
don't
tip, man.
want to hear nothing else. People ain't no tip.
You see, Asians used to bootleg the DVDs. Like everybody figuring out a scheme to make money, man. We gotta figure it out.
It's you going down the line. All right, y'all. We gonna have to come to a close now. We been talking for 4 hours, y'all.
Yeah, at 4 hours, I'm out of here. Bruce Lee used to drink Henny. I don't know about all that.
People swear they know stuff.
Honda Civics, man. Those you can't go wrong with those. Yeah,
Get you
Acura.
some gas.
Yeah, I think they make them. I think Acura. I think Honda makes Acuras, and Toyotas make Lexus. Most brands have they have
Sub
like a
brand
yeah, they have like a knockoff. Oh, this shit about to cut off.
luxury.
My shit's on
Yeah.
5. My shit's on 5%.
Yeah. Go.
Damn, I was trying to catch up. But yo, my shit about to cut off. It's on 5%. Damn, it's over. It was nice though, y'all. Damn, my shit dying. That's good though, cause I need to lay my ass down. My back hurt. I'm getting old.
This is too
Thank,
much.
thank you though, Ash. I appreciate you. Appreciate you
Yes.
coming
No, I
through.
appreciate you.
You have a good one. You be safe out there, man. Don't
You
let the
too.
dog don't let the dogs bite you
All
out
right, dang.
there. Later.